Thanks for doing that, man.
You ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You are?
Don't mind if I do.
Covino and Rich. Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Bruno Dollar on the radio.
Get ready.
Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! Holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey. Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Let's go! Girth is worth in 2022. Covino and Rich and Spot and you guys. Welcome to the new year. 2022. How you doing, Cove? Hey, buddy. We'll explain in a second what the hell's going on today. But hey, welcome to the show. Hey, it's going to be an action-packed month. I'm excited. We made it to 2022 as Covino, one of your childhood friends, Heather Ferry, put on Instagram. This is the Mondayest Monday that ever Mondayed. I think we all feel that way. Hey, sports, entertainment, life. Let's do this. January 3rd. Let's go. All right, buddy boy. You ready to roll? What's the matter? Oh, fade it down. Get over here. Let's go. No little yeehaws or screams or any sound effects? Nothing? You're just...
No.
You're not going to give anything?
It's business. I give you me. What's going on? Hey, what's up? That shit was funny watching you do that, man. This was.
It's
I was
funny?
behind the ones and twos, behind the controls. You know, this is funny. My hair today. Look at that.
Your hair looks unbelievable.
Man,
By the way, could
I
I...
look like Jimmy Neutron.
I'm going to... Hold on. You know what?
No, it's okay.
No,
I don't
no.
need pictures, bro. We're on
No,
the screen right now.
No,
It's all good.
bro.
No, I'm good. I don't approve of this. Thank you.
Broski,
Good. No,
bro.
I don't approve of you. I don't approve.
Bro.
That's how I woke up.
Bro.
You know what it is? You really want to know the truth? Want to know the truth of what's going on?
The truth?
Here's the truth, man. You get the behind the velvet rope experience.
Give
even though we're on
everyone...
tier 2 right now.
Give everyone a side profile. I'm going to give you the one shot. Give everyone what
Look at
I'm
this.
seeing. No, turn to your left. Look at the...
That's
It's like...
just a wave, yeah.
You have like a wave.
Yeah.
It's almost like a wave
the
crest.
wave, bro.
Catch it, bro. Catch the wave.
I just rolled with it. You know, the hair gods gave me a little extra volume today, and I was like, yo, why fight it?
Pump up the volume.
Yeah, man. Why fight it? Why fight it? What's up, Outside Groove? What's up, Darren Burry? What's up, Archmage Frey? Archmage? What's up, Bill Waxon and Relaxin', Cole Maxon Jackson? I'm Steve Covino. That is Rich. Let's go. It's a hair doo-doo day. It's a hair don't kind of day.
Antonio Brown.
Hi, hair don't care. Yeah, AB's in the news. We have lots to get to.
Joe Gatto. Hillary Duff. Patton Oswalt. People are dying in weird ways.
Pat my butt cheeks.
We'll talk some life and money and this and that and everything today. So.
Yeah. Look, I brought a hat just in case I couldn't deal with the volume. In case the volume was too much today, I brought a hat. This is the one Jordan's dad gave me.
I was going to say, it looks like a nice little sporting good hat that you would wear. I was going to say, that looks like a Texas guy hat.
Remember his brand that he started? And Jordan was like, no, don't do it.
Don't do it, Dad.
Yeah, this is his brand. Intrinsic Sportswear. It's nice. I
was
like
gonna say,
that.
It looks like
No,
a
I
nice,
like that hat. Yeah.
Hold on.
Well, he's an outdoorsy kind of guy.
One shot.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
It's a nice looking hat.
Yeah, better than the alligator hat he gave me. But sports, entertainment, life. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed your Dexters, your Cobra Kais, your Boba Fett's, your
The most
New
Monday,
Year's Rockin' Eve.
The most Monday of all Mondays begins. But
I said this on Fox Sports Radio last night, and I implore you guys to check it out on your own time. We sent out the link on our social media pages at Covino and Rich, or just go to foxsportsradio.com. Subscribe to our podcast. We're on every Sunday night from 5 to 8 on the West, talking sports and nonsense, Covino and Rich style. New Year's Rockin' Eve, not that rockin'. Not that rockin' at all.
I mean, you think they should rename it.
Yeah, not so Rockin' Eve. I think they should name it that. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to bring in the new year. And I'm like, Journey's the best they got.
And it's not even really Journey.
I mean, they were great. They were actually the best of the night.
It's
Everyone
not even
else
really
sucked.
Journey. Without Steve Perry, is it Journey, as Andy Cohen said?
No.
It's not Journey.
But I like the Filipino Journey. I think they're great. So, sports, entertainment, life, Happy New Year. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you had a safe and happy celebration. I hope you didn't catch the Omicron or the Omarion, whatever variant's out there nowadays. I hope your kid went back to school with no hassles or hoffs. I had to get a PCR test before I dropped Melody off this morning. And it was like a nerve-wracking experience because you just wanted to get the results before Monday. They have to wear masks. People make out with masks now. It's a whole scene.
Yo, by the way, as far as New Year's Eve goes, throw out your few observations because you and I said the same thing yesterday. There was nothing to me more foolish and stupid than watching two people get engaged and then make out with masks on.
I thought you were going to say then Miley Cyrus and Pete Davidson and Anderson Cooper and Cohen.
That's who Sarah and I watched for a little while, and I never thought I would. I was flipping through the channels. You go on Hulu Live, right? It's not like a TV guide. It shows you what's suggested. I was like, oh, Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen. Turned it on for a minute, and I'm like, yo, these drunk dudes are way funnier than anything Seacrest is doing. Because Seacrest is too polished. Like, welcome to Times Square. Here's a performance.
I do agree with that. And Andy Cohen is, however, getting a lot of backlash because he was saying a little too much, which is a little refreshing at the same time, but they get annoying too. So hope you had a great time. My observations were the performances were doo-doo pie. A lot of them were pre-recorded because of COVID, right? There was a smaller crowd than usual. I thought my balls dropping was more exciting than the actual ball dropping, to be honest.
That's true.
Yeah. The Great Potato Drop in Idaho, more exciting than what we saw on TV. I got my little, what's that, apple champagne?
Apple champagne?
You know.
Like the basic cider? Like
fizzy cider.
Yeah, fizzy, yeah.
But I don't know. It's called something. I got that for Melody and I, and we counted it down, and it was,
You made it till midnight?
Made it till midnight, but you go to social media, and I mentioned this yesterday, you feel like everyone else is boozing and schmoozing, having more fun than you.
I feel the opposite. I feel like this year, everyone's like, staying home. Happy New Year. Staying home. I feel like everyone was like, staying home.
Everyone's showing bottom boob, bottom cheek, dressed to the nines, having fun, and I'm there in my socks.
Well, you're also at a different...
And you know what, though? I'm with my kid, and that's all that matters.
You're at a different stage. You're at a different stage of your life. I think about that, too, sometimes. I'm like, man, look at this person partying. And I'm like, is this person partying 28? Because when I was 28, guess what I was doing? Fucking living it up, partying on New Year's Eve, raging. You're not 28.
Are we having technical difficulties, or are people just bothering us for the sake of it in our feedback?
It's probable. I don't know. Covino and Rich still trying to find the on switch. What's not working?
Is something not working? Or are you guys just talking smack? Because we're a spotless show today. As far as I know, we're good to go. Doctor says Spot needs a backiotomy, so he didn't come in today. Hurt himself running. Are we good, Spot? I think we're good.
Spinal. Video stream not working?
How's that possible?
Want to go check it?
So nobody saw our video? No one's seeing our hair? It's the highlight of the show so far.
My God.
I don't know if I believe that.
Wait a minute. Did you start these? See if you started.
I started both streams.
Well, give it a shot. Look again. Yeah, Spot let us know this morning that he wasn't going to make it in because his back hurts. Now, the video isn't on or working. That's from Steve B. The audio's working. Everyone hears us. The video part. Here we go. Video part has nothing. What was it?
It just didn't go. Ready? Going live in 3,
2, 1.
All right.
Now people can see the hair.
Man, no one
That I
saw
was
the
talking
hair.
about?
The suspense must have been killing them. Well, either way,
Give
we
the
have the
profile
audio.
again then. So people can see. Look at that.
Catch the wave.
Oh, more. You got to look more to the side so people can see the. Look at that.
Catch
Look at that wave.
Look at this. Like I said, hair gods, man. Oh, but what I was gonna say, what's really going on? Do you really want to know what's going on?
Yeah.
Do you really want the scoop?
Yeah.
I've suffered from COVID. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to believe me. I'm the boy who cried COVID because I joke about it a lot. Truth is, I had a major butt rash all over my body because of it. I got COVID eye. Can't see for shit.
COVID rash.
And now I'm having what you call COVID hair loss. I'm shedding big time. It's not old age. The same with the eye shit. It's not old age. It just didn't happen like that.
So you are.
I'm seriously
You're gonna say
losing
hair
a lot
loss.
of hair.
You're losing a lot of hair because of COVID.
Why I'm not panicking is because I looked it up and it's case after case after case. It's very common, especially if you're on medication the way I was, to go through a shedding phase, right? And lose more than you normally lose. Like I'm losing hair like all on the sides of my hair, everything.
Are you losing scales like a snake?
I'm losing a lot of
layer?
hair.
Like
The reason I'm not really furious and upset about it is because it's normal and they say it grows back after that. It's like a few month process. So yeah, man, I put some Rogaine on my hair last night. And then when I woke up, it was like, so it already grew. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like a chia pet. No, the foamy Rogaine, that minoxidil, that foamy Rogaine stuff, it just makes your hair like, it's like putting mousse in. It's mousse. I don't know if you knew that. It's mousse.
No, it's
so now I got mousse in my hair and I woke up like Johnny Bravo, like Johnny Suede. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll roll with it, but I'll bring a hat just in case I can't even deal with it.
By the way, speaking of moose,
Yeah.
since we're ADD radio,
Well, that's the truth. That's why the hair is like extra voluminous.
not talking about the Jersey moose that you saw,
No.
but Daryl the Moose Johnston from the Cowboys back in the 90s. I heard him tell the story about how he got his nickname.
Mm-hmm.
And it was John Madden just being like, look at him. He's like a moose. Boom. And from that day on, everyone called him the Moose.
I mean,
Daryl
if you
Johnson.
want to play a game of ADD radio,
Boom.
on Fox Sports Radio yesterday, we worked with a guy that we never worked with before. And Spot pointed out, he's got the biggest smoothie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He came in with the actual picture,
Yeah.
right? We never met this guy ever. We started calling him Big Smoothie. Yo, Big Smoothie and Little Smoothie. Yo, what's up? Big Smoothie's on the 1 and 2s, right? He's a radio veteran, this guy.
Nice guy.
Do you believe he changed his social media profile name as of last night, and he's officially Big Smoothie now on Fox Sports Radio?
I love it.
Yeah.
Big Smoothie.
His name is
Look
Big
at that.
Smoothie. So
Told
yeah,
you, we're
John
making
Madden
noise.
gave him the moose. We gave him the Big Smoothie last night. So anyway, voluminous.
Yeah, no, you got a voluminous.
Voluminous, Mercer, man. I'm voluminous today because I have mousse in the pelos, in my hair. So sports, entertainment, life,
Moose.
Happy New Year, Happy New Year. I got the hat here that we were talking about, and we're ready to roll. Hope you enjoyed your New Year's Eve. Hope you enjoyed your football, your sports, your college football, the Ohio State game. Lots went on this weekend, man. And I lost a lot of hair.
I mean, how much hair are we talking?
A
like
lot,
like
bro.
at the end of a
Like
shower.
depressing, dude.
At the end of a shower,
No, like all day.
the hair is clogged. Like
Like a lot. Like I might be bald. Who knows? I don't know.
you bald would be weird.
But I'm not worried about it because, again, it's very common for what I went through. And it's just part of a process that goes away and comes back healthy again. And, you know, if I believed that I was just really losing my hair like drastically, then I'd panic. But it's too drastic to not be something. And that something is COVID, and it's going to come back when the shedding process is done.
Only people
the
that know.
fucking worst.
Only people that know the show
Yeah.
would know the analogy I'm going to give. But I've said it before. You talking about hair loss is like on This Is Us when Kate goes to when Kate goes to the fat group, like the what do you call it? Like the AA, like the like Eaters Anonymous or whatever. There's a bunch of big people. Hi, my name's Kate.
That would be EA.
EA. Eaters Anonymous. There was the skinny girl that weighed like 100 pounds, and she's like, Yeah, I feel the same way about my weight. And all the fat people are like, can you fucking get a load of this fucking...
Well, I mean, I have a
Annoying.
lot of hair to lose.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
Thankfully,
is...
if I did, I'd be in a bad spot
But I'm
right
saying
now.
people that are legitimately thinning or losing hair or have a bald spot are like, yo, this motherfucker, they want to punch you in the nose.
No, it's bad.
Yeah, you're right, Covino. You look like you're really balding.
It's bad, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I had a lot of hair. It's bad, Pee-wee.
Yeah, but you do realize you're like the skinny person telling the fat person that, man, I really need to watch my
I mean,
diet.
does it make what I'm saying less true? I mean, I'm telling you what's going on.
I mean...
I don't have any bald spots, Jen. Slow down. It's just thinning out. Shedding. It's a shedding. Look it up. It's one of the common side effects of COVID. And along with the eyes, I got, what is it called? Photo what? Photobombs? Photo something? Photophobia. Photophobia as a aftermath result. I just hope it all goes away in time. Try not to panic. When I'm laying there in bed at night, the heart starts to beat a little faster because I start to worry about these things. But it's all good. It's all good. All right. So, New Year's Eve.
It's called aging, Covino. No,
Yeah,
it's not. It's
called aging,
It's
IG.
COVID. It's COVID head.
You know what it's called? It's called You're Stupid. It's all too
That's a good one.
drastic.
That's a good one.
It is. Because it's all too sudden. And it's all too much. And it's not like the top of my head. It's like all around my head. And it's because of COVID. I'm confident. 100%. I'm confident of that. It's too much.
If you're the type of guy that if you went bald, I don't know what you would do. It would really mess with you because if it's messing with you that you're like losing some stray hair and you got a full head of hair, imagine if you genuinely were like, oh my God, dude, imagine you were bald over Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's all tricks. Trust me. It's dyed. You know, it's voluminous. I got fucking Rogaine in it.
Got volume.
Yeah. Sharpie. So thank you, Bill. We'll check our texts. You can still text us 412-267-7469. Give us a call. Let's get into this, man. New Year's Eve, those are my observations.
Look at that hair. No, come on. Get out of here.
Catch the wave, bro.
Get out of here.
Catch the wave.
All right. I don't even know where to start. Where do we start? New Year's Eve, we said it. Probably Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen were the most entertaining because they were just drunk, fucking going off on people. It was boring, no real performances.
Yeah, but that's so unprofessional, in my opinion. I understand that Seacrest is boring because he's too polished, right?
And everybody, let's give it up for Journey.
Right, I get it.
We're here, 50-year anniversary, Ryan Seacrest, as we make our way through Times Square, the ball with 8 million lights.
Barf.
And
the fact that you do it that good makes me want to barf
we are
even
10
more.
minutes away from countdown. Let's go to you, correspondent. Thanks, Ryan. I'm here with some people that are having fun in Times Square. You guys having fun? Yeah!
Correspondent was good, though. I don't know who she was, but she was good.
Oh, Sarah said she's like an influencer.
Okay, she did a great job.
I'm wearing like a cool fucking silver coat.
She did a great job
From
for
the
someone I
future.
never knew. Back
to you, Ryan.
Because that's a high-pressure scenario.
We're getting closer. We're coming up. Live performances from Journey, Miley Cyrus, this and that. We'll be back on New Year's Rocket Eve.
Barf.
It's like boring.
Barf. But Andy
Meanwhile,
Cohen and Anderson Cooper, they're getting drunk on TV.
giggling.
On a news network, though. That's my thing here. And then you see all the Twitter sort of
And they let all
information.
They let all these Twitter handles on the screen.
But that's odd for CNN.
That were like Mike Coxbig, what was it, Ben Dover, like all these fake screen names were the tweets they were putting on the bottom of the screen.
Anita fucking Ballsack or something. Anita something.
Anita Blackman. Blackman. Yeah, it was Anita Blackman.
Anita
Blackman.
Blackman. Like, you know, that's very unprofessional as far as I'm concerned. So I feel like there's a middle ground that somebody should figure out. Maybe that somebody's us.
Andy Cohen being all...
He's too angry about shit.
No, he was fucking hilarious.
He's belligerent. I don't think he's that
Let me tell you about the New York Mayor. He goes off on de Blasio. He talked about how Journey wasn't the real Journey without Steve Perry. The guy was very funny. I thought Andy Cohen drunk was way more entertaining than Seacrest doing the same song and dance, to be honest.
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying there's a middle ground. And if Spot was here, I'd show you the actual footage of the potato drop. I got so much feedback. There were some actual viral videos on social media of the potato drop in Idaho. So many people hit me up like, dude, I thought you were joking. I'm like,
no, there's the Boise potato drop.
And Jordan had a full-on view of it from her sister's place, too. So I got to see that this weekend. But hope you enjoyed your New Year's Eve with your family. Happy New Year 2022. Make out with your masks on. Be safe. Health is wealth. Hope you enjoyed, like I said, your Cobra Kai.
I will say that was like humiliating.
It was. Weird way to start the year.
I mean, it's listen, I get it. Safety and the network, much like the Aaron Andrews, Aaron Rodgers clip. Optics. You need to, show society you're being safe and everything. But for a couple to get engaged and to fucking kiss or like touch masks, like I've never seen something so foolish.
It's like when Leslie Nielsen
wore the big condom and Naked Gun.
when they wore the condoms all over their body.
I mean, I don't even think the safest, over-the-top, paranoid COVID person thinks that wasn't ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
Like, take the
calculus.
Honestly, take the most paranoid COVID safety type of person in your life, and they would even admit kissing with masks on New Year's Eve was the stupidest. It was like that might have been the culmination of the stupidity.
No, it was the worst. It was the weakest. And then, I felt like I was being held TV prisoner. I was a viewing hostage all week long because what happened was Jordan got stuck in Idaho because it snowed so much that she waited until, yesterday, day before to get home.
It's like a Hallmark movie. She's in the small town and all the flights are canceled out.
That was the original plan was for her to be back just a few days after I got back. I flew back. She was driving back. So there was a lot of things I wanted to watch. And, I said, I'm going to watch Jim Gaffigan. No, don't. Wait for me. I'm like, you like Jim Gaffigan? Yeah.
No, they're going to watch Cobra Kai. No, don't.
Yeah, wait for me. I'm like, oh, man. I see everyone talking about Cobra Kai. I'm the biggest fan. No, wait for me. I said, all right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch Yellowstone because I know she's not going to give a fuck about that. I've asked her to watch before. She said no. I want to know what Spot and Rich are talking about. I want to buy into the hype. Let's see what's up. What are you doing? I'm watching Yellowstone. No, don't. Stop. Wait for me. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to watch? The only thing I can watch is Dexter and Boba Fett.
Watch Yankees highlights.
Yeah. I'm like, what else can I watch? Can never do nothing. So I was held hostage. But I did watch, Rich. Yeah. The first episode of Cobra Kai, which is you love this. Trending #1 on Netflix. Knocked Don't Look Up right out of the top spot.
Well, it's Cobra Kai. People
Cobra Kai, bro. Oh, never dies. Ay! And I watched the first episode, loved it. I actually did a behind the velvet rope sort of viewing party of one. Full on gi, full on ready to roll, full on Miyagi-Do, and did some Cobra Kai Karate Kid trivia behind the velvet rope on our Patreon. I woke up and I felt motivated. I was straight out of bed, bedhead, put on the garb, and did a behind the velvet rope. If you missed it, check it out on our Patreon. But I watched episode 1, enjoyed it thoroughly, thought it was great. Johnny Lawrence makes the show. And then when Jordan got back, I rewatched the first episode and the second episode.
She's back?
Yeah. And so far, so good. Thornley style, Canadians. So far, so good. Dude, I'm loving it. And I've only seen one bad criticism anywhere, and it was on our social media page.
Yeah, I think I saw one person write like they rushed it.
That was it.
So that got in my head. So I haven't seen anything. I haven't watched anything.
Dude, don't let it get in your head. Everyone else, Rotten Potatoes to everyone else on social media, loves it, and expectations are high. So it was probably better than meets the eye.
Yeah, I have to still watch Karate Kid Part 3.
I think you should.
So I think I'll do that tonight.
You don't have to, but I think you should.
Yeah. You know what? It's one of those things too. Like, I want to get into it, but you know when you're watching a show where sometimes you're like, do I finish one thing before I start another, or do you simultaneously watch things? Like now I'm in the Yellowstone zone. I'm not loving it the way other people do. I like it a lot, but I'm not loving it.
I got into about 20 minutes of it before Jordan shut it down. And I wasn't feeling it. I'm not into Cowboys unless Dak Prescott's involved. Unless Cowboy Curtis is involved.
I think he was going to say unless they start making out like, was it Jake Gyllenhaal and
Broke Butt Mountain.
Yeah.
Rex Kwando, Broke Butt Mountain. Broke Butt Mountain.
You aren't feeling it?
Again, I watched the first maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, the season premiere, the first episode ever of Yellowstone is like an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So, listen, I'm like,
It's a very dusty looking show. I don't like dusty like cowboy shows.
Dusty cowboy shows?
Yeah, but I'm sure it gets better and I'm sure it's great. I mean, everybody seems to love it, so who cares what I think? I haven't even given it enough time to have an opinion.
I like it. I like it a lot. I don't love it yet, but
the hype is not meeting the hype.
Well, I mean, everyone overhyped it and they made it seem like it was top tier, and I think it's really good. But I'm not like anxious, like
beating off.
Like
to
when Dexter's over, I'm like, I can't wait till next week's episode.
Right.
When I'm done watching a Yellowstone, I'm like, hey, you want to watch another one, Sarah? All right, if not, we'll watch it later. So like,
I desperately wanted to continue Cobra Kai last night, but Jordan was too tired. Can never do nothing.
So
because she just got back from a 13-hour drive. But I was like, let's go. Come on, episode 3. I'm too tired. It's so good. It's so cheesily awesome. It's cheesy, but
dusty
it's great.
Cowboy show. Could you describe a dusty cowboy show? You feel like there's a lot of dust?
Very dusty. A lot of tumbleweed and shit. That doesn't vibe with me. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of dusty cowboy hats. Not my style. Look at me. Look at you. Think I'm going to cover this pompadour with a cowboy hat?
It's the only show where I need closed captioning because Kevin Costner speaks with like grit.
I noticed that.
Cowboy. I'm like,
sorry, got to shoot you, horse, little horsey man. Got to kill this horse.
Yo, Dexter last night though.
I didn't catch up.
Oh,
I was watching Cobra Kai.
Yo, Dexter.
I heard it was great. I heard it was like best episode yet.
One to go.
So hey, I get excited about these things. Right now, it's a great time for viewing pleasures. NFL. What? AB. What? All the games yesterday, we're going to talk about it. What? Cobra Kai. What? Trending number 1. Rich is catching up on Yellowstone. Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett. Super dope. Even showed a little mercy. Boba Fett showed mercy. Mike Velasco wasn't having that.
Let's see. People are saying, I'm with you, Rich. I don't love Yellowstone. I like it a lot.
Dexter. Yeah, Rich off the air gave the Game of Thrones analogy. Like, people were beaten off to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I liked Game of Thrones a lot, but I was not beaten off like other people
I
are.
liked it a lot, too. I didn't get nerdy about it the way other people got about it. Like, bro, dragons, bro. Oh, this is my mind, bro.
People with Game of Thrones.
I am getting nerdy about Cobra Kai. I get it. But as much as I loved Game of Thrones, and I did, appointment watching, excited about it, I wasn't like freaking out the way other people were.
Yeah, like
people freak out about Yellowstone.
The Monday morning after Game of Thrones, like even when we were working at ESPN, they're like, all right, guys, we got like, yo, do you see this meme? You see this meme? Wow, we got Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
My wife, I feel like Spot was like that too. Some people with Game of Thrones, honestly, we were like, oh, Jon Snow, oh, Khaleesi, like they were out of control.
I mean, it was epic and it was dope. I liked it, but it didn't meet the hype for me.
I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot. I don't have that sort of passion level.
I feel the same way about Yellowstone. Like I like it. I'll keep watching. I want to keep watching, but I don't see where, when you're watching a show that has like that next level hype, and you're like, yo, what am I missing? I like it a lot.
That's what takes away from your enjoyment sometimes.
Maybe I don't like the genre. Like maybe, like
I told you, Dusty.
Like, Dusty Cowboys. I don't know.
Dusty Cowboys. They're Dusty Cowboy boots.
The same way where someone like my wife or Spot or someone that likes more fantasy type of shit would like a Game of Thrones. Because my wife loves that type of that genre.
I love karate.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a karate guy.
Yeah.
Like Terry Silver kind of guy.
It's like someone that doesn't like mob stuff isn't going to love The Sopranos.
Yeah.
The same way.
It's genre specific, I guess. And I'm sure it's great. But a lot of things to watch, and Dexter is one of them. And we're hoping for another season of New Blood.
That's funny. Kevin brings up a good point. What's up, Kevin Bush? Thanks for chiming in. He goes, for a while, I thought it was more socially acceptable to be a flat earther than not watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, because people freaked out about
Game of Thrones!
Right. And a lot of people were kind of normally watching it, like a normal person. Like, yeah, this is good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But these guys are like, they're maniacs about it. So it does make you question, like, how much do I like it? If they're like super fans. That's how Rich is about Yellowstone.
Yeah, it. Don't.
Hope whatever it is you watched, you enjoyed. And that leads us to something you can't avoid. And we're not going to get in-depth because we do that on Fox Sports Radio. When I say in-depth, I say that loosely because we still discuss the fun stories, not the X's and O's, right? Can't avoid the NFL right now. You just can't. So many big games, so many cool things happened. The Bengals over the Chiefs, 34-31. Cardinals over the Cowboys. What? Just when you thought they were done, Rich? Just when you were hating on them and they were proving you right. They come back and beat the Cowboys, 25-22. Brady and his final drive over the Jets, only to be overshadowed by Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Antonio Clown. And that brings up a whole conversation of mental health. But I don't want to lose the funny and fun out of that, too. There's a serious side to the story that Tom Brady so graciously covered at the press conference. He needs help. Something wrong with this guy. We all love and care about him. But then the memes start to happen. And it's fucking huge comedy.
Fantastic.
You want to explain for people who somehow missed what happened?
Antonio Brown, mid-game. Jets, Bucks. Bucks end up winning the game, but at this point, they're losing big.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how the fuck are the Bucks losing to the Jets? Antonio Brown, apparently he's got a foot that hurts.
Bad ankle.
My ankle hurts. Coach said, all right, AB, get in the game. Antonio Brown said, yo, coach, not
Can't
right
do it,
now.
coach.
My ankle. And Bruce Arians, the coach, said, well, either get in the game now when I need you, or you're done for the day.
If you're done, you're done.
If you're done right now,
benched him if he wasn't going to play.
Listen, if you're not going to get in the game right now, then you got to declare yourself you're done for the day. Like, you're out.
And AB basically said, fuck your bench. Fuck your bench.
Fuck you.
And everyone started to calm him down. Mike Evans was like, yo, dude, chill. He started to try to take his pads off. Like, I'm done. Fuck this team. Fuck you, Arians. Fuck everybody. No, chill. AB, chill. You know what, though? You know what's sad about this? I don't know for fact, but there seems to be a miscommunication here. Meaning, I don't know if Arians at that time, in that moment, knew how hurt Antonio Brown was claiming to be. Like, he was coming off as just simply defiant.
Yeah, but isn't that...
So you're not getting in when you're done.
Isn't it coincidental that it just happened to him, though?
Yeah, he's problematic.
Yeah,
he's a problematic guy.
You could say, like...
It's leaking into the team now.
Like, it's like... look at it as you always love to do, and I always love to do. Look at it as a relationship. Mm-hmm. There are women that are just drawn to dramatics and problems and drama. And that's sort of Antonio Brown. And then, we'll get into the mental health part of it. But the reality is, I'm sure there have been other players in NFL history that have been like, yo, coach, I'm not going in. It's like, well, go in or whatever. But coach, I'm a little more hurt than you might think.
Yeah.
Okay, like Antonio Brown, it happens to him because he's Antonio Brown. It doesn't happen to him because it's like, oh, what another coincidence. The guy handles himself in a fucking bizarre manner.
Right. He doesn't deserve, in some ways, that sort of courtesy because he's his own worst enemy.
Now,
right?
EJ Reed says, yo, the AB memes are hilarious. They're feel sorry.
Hilarious.
I don't feel sorry for him, but the dude needs mental help before he hurts himself or someone else.
Right.
Fact.
And, Tom Brady vouched for this guy. So many people vouched for this guy. He sort of dumped all over him because what happened next, guys, if somehow you were sleeping yesterday or you just don't follow sports, he's like, you know what? Well, fuck it. I'm done. And I think he does all the math and he realizes, well, if I walk off now, no one's going to pick me up. My career's over.
This is it.
So I'm going out in style. I'm going to take this into my own hands and do it AB style. Takes his pads off, takes his shirt off, and he goes running into the end zone, hyping up the crowd, piecing them out like, that's it. AB's done. AB does it AB's way. Yeah. Fuck y'all. Arians, go fuck yourself. Woohoo. And he's like dancing around shirtless.
Yeah.
Throws his stuff into the stands. And as a fan, they cut to Red Zone. I'm watching Red Zone. Like, wait till you see what happened with AB. I'm like, wow. As a fan, you're like, this is something we've never seen before. So you have to give everybody, especially us, the pass to be like, wow, this is like crazy and hilarious all at the same time. Because you're not automatically thinking, well, this is a serious sort of thing. You're thinking this is hilarious.
When I heard, yo, did you see what Antonio Brown did? Yeah. My first thought was a fight. I thought he got in a fight on the sideline. or
I
a
thought-
fight with a fan or
You know
something.
what
I thought
happened?
something happened.
He had a lot of incentives on the line, a lot of bonuses on the line that led to an extra $1 million if he met them, right? And he's really close to him, like receptions and yards and minutes played and whatever, right? I thought that they were benching him and not allowing him to reach those incentives. So he threw a baby tantrum.
Well, I mean, the opposite.
That's
in
not
fact.
the case, yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, man, he's just AB being AB. Business
Now-
ain't booming.
He took one really bad hit years back, and I think you all probably remember it if you saw it.
I do remember it, yeah.
And you wonder, did he get all fucking scrambled in the brain?
I mean, I said it last night on Fox Sports Radio. I'll say it again. By no means do Rich and I claim to know Antonio Brown personally. But you get a vibe of somebody, right? You see the look in their eye. You see their smile. You see what they're all about, right? You get a sense of their character. The guy we met years ago doesn't seem to be the guy that's playing in the NFL right now. And we met him a few times, partied with him, talked to him. Like, he seemed like a humble, likable guy.
There was an Antonio Brown.
I use the word humble loosely. He's an NFL player. He's competitive. I'm sure he has an ego. But
Well, nothing
I mean,
humble about him now. But when
right.
when Covino and I talking about the Antonio Brown
I mean
we
it.
met, I say this realistically. We met him on a red carpet, but then we went into a party, saw him at the bar, and we're shooting the shit with him while he was having a drink. And I remember Le'Veon Bell was there too.
I'm not just saying this, guys. I don't name drop in this way. Quite frankly, I don't care. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from.
We talked to him enough to get a vibe of his personality.
Yeah, but you know when people connect, I feel like he really liked me. He sought me out and at a party. I remember
And he was
like,
like, yo.
yeah, let's hang, let's talk. And I thought he was a super cool dude. Like, yo, this guy could be my friend. I could be friends with AB.
Do you remember
I like this guy.
the conversation that provoked? It provoked the conversation of if Colin Kaepernick, because at the time Kaepernick was the Niners QB. This is the same weekend that Kaepernick dissed me, and Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell
Embraced us.
embraced us
That's
at a
right.
party, and we were joking with them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the whole thing was, well, why do I root for the Niners when Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, who at the time were on the Steelers, I said, well, shouldn't I fucking root for the guys that are nice to me?
And it was a cool feeling because
Yeah.
they embraced us. I remember, it sounds very sus, but I made eye contact across the room with AB, smiling at me like, my guy. Love this guy. We were having a good time. He was young in the league. We were partying. You know, that dude, I think, took one too many hits to the head. And you're seeing the aftermath here, you know, mixed with success and the people around him. And, you know, mental health is something that everybody sort of battles. And I think he's losing that battle.
Now-
And it never really seeped into his gameplay. But we saw yesterday, you know, that as they're saying on ESPN today and other sports shows, he can't be relied on anymore.
Antonio Brown, if not suspended, for his own dumb doing,
he's
faking COVID cards,
Yeah.
if he wasn't suspended, he would have hit those incentives. So he has no one to blame but himself.
Right.
Take away the injury. If Antonio Brown isn't suspended because he's a bozo and gave people a fake COVID card.
Yo, some of the memes that happened after that literally have me laughing out loud. One that made me laugh out in the middle of the night is he's in the end zone again, like, yo, I'm out, I'm done, fuck yo. They photoshopped him holding up a COVID card, like a giant COVID card.
Yes.
It's so fucking funny. I mean, every meme that I've seen is hilarious. Instead of just do it, just retire. You know, Nike, he's the Nike guy.
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
He's holding onto the wing of the plane because how's he going to get back, right? He tried.
Who was it?
You know, he had to set up travel arrangements. He didn't travel back with the team.
Let's see. There's a lot of memes. Our buddy Danny G from Fox hit us up with
The memes are
believe in
hilarious.
something, even if it's just until halftime. Nike. And then the other one was every day's a half day if you just fucking leave, Antonio Brown. Like, there's all these great memes. And you know what?
Greg Kelly agrees. You know, I think something popped in his brain. I mean, CTE is a real thing. The dude did suffer from concussions. You know, even though he's an amazing athlete, he's not all there. And Tom Brady addressed that and handled it eloquently and perfectly, in my opinion, where Bruce Arians just didn't want to talk about
You
it.
just got to hope, as I believe someone just said, you hope it doesn't have a tragic ending. And I think that's the sad part. The sad part is like, yeah, he's a clown. He's embarrassed himself and other people that trusted in him and believed him. I said it last night. He didn't get, it wasn't a Antonio Brown, 3 strikes, you're out. With Antonio Brown, motherfucker was a cat. He had 9 lives. If you think of everything from videotaping, what an old school term, recording and streaming live in the locker room for the Steelers, right? Him telling Steeler Nation, like, I'm out.
That's when he was obsessed with Snapchat.
The fucking helmet debacle.
Yeah.
With the Raiders, where he's like, I'm not playing unless I have my special helmet. Then.
And we bought into it. Like,
His fucking frozen feet. Remember he did cryo on his feet, and he burnt his feet?
He's like, my foot, my tootsies. I remember that.
And then New England came and left. Boom, in and out, done.
One game, right?
One game.
Again, Tom Brady vouched for him, said, lived with Tom Brady. So that's the really fucked up part, though, right? The fucked up part is that's how you thank Tom Brady. Like, it's very selfish. And not just Tom Brady, the organization, his other teammates.
And think about it. Bruce Arians, just the other day, they said, Bruce, I thought you said Antonio Brown was out of chances. And he's like, well, he's good for the team. Like, that's essentially what he said. And then within a week,
I can't get past the selfishness involved in what he did. Yeah, mental health, and everybody has their issues, and we're seeing someone unravel. I mean, what he does is so selfish that you have to acknowledge it.
Now,
like, he didn't give a shit. He let his teammates down. And you know what? It disrupted the game. You see everyone looking at what he's doing in the end zone. Security thought it was a streaker. Nobody knew what was going on. The game sort of stopped and paused for a minute. Yet, the team carries on and wins without him anyway. With an amazing drive, led by Tom Brady.
Maybe they motivated him. Maybe he motivated the team.
But guys, it was a first time for everybody.
Bruce Arians, to back up what Jason's saying, not to defend BA, but Bruce Arians.
B.A. Baracus or A.B.?
BA, Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not to defend, because I've seen people call him BA. I'm like, is that a thing? Not to defend Bruce Arians, but as Jason's pointing out, motherfucker never wanted Antonio Brown to begin with. It was like, imagine any scenario, like with your wife or girlfriend, like, hey, should we go out with this person or hang out with this person? And one person's adamant against it, and you find he gave in to Tom Brady. That'd be like me and you being like, yo, bro, let's go do this event. Yo, I don't want to do it. Yo, bro,
that's why it was a major slap to the face.
It was a Tom Brady to Bruce Arians, like, yo, we're here, we're Super Bowl, this is
weapons.
Last year, yo, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. You got me here in Tampa. Trust me. Let's bring in AB. And Bruce Arians is sort of like, fine.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
So Bruce Arians, if you remember in the beginning of the year, Bruce Arians 2 years ago was like, nah, Antonio Brown, we have our receivers. We're good.
I totally remember that. But, got to give credit where it's due. Our buddy Ralph Irvin, he's one of the news guys at Fox Sports Radio. Really cool guy. We like him a lot. They're all great there. He said, as an organization, and especially the NFL as an organization, they had a whole half to figure out how to handle this. As an organization that sort of... Jeff the Jerkman says, continue carrying on. Thank you, Jeff. All right, so we have a friend in need we're going to get to, if we have time. I got my rando news. You heard our takes on what to watch. And we're fully going on again. We just got to zoom in our chat so we can read your feedback. All right, so here's what happened in a nutshell. We're in the middle of wrapping up our AB conversation, so we're not sure where it cut out. And the internet just went out. So it had nothing to do with myself or Rich or Spot not being here. Just for the record, the internet completely went out. It's only the second time that ever happened in the past year. So the internet completely went out. As you guys know, with your internet, when there's a solid blue, your internet's going.
You're good to go.
When it's red and blinking, your internet went out. So it completely went out. And I think it's this guy's fault. It's this guy who did it. He bit the wire.
Ben, did you bite the wire,
yes,
Ben?
Yes, you did. Did you bite it? I think you did. You bit the wire, didn't you? You did, didn't you, little gremlin? This guy did it. Ben did it.
Thanks, all right. Ben. Well, I'm just saying, if we refresh and reset, then we will be able to
Hold on.
Do a better show.
Spot's chiming in. Well, Spot, I talked to him before, and he's like, yeah, there's even if he was here, there's nothing he could do about the internet.
How do we get the chat bigger?
How do we get the chat bigger, Spotty?
Is the chat that was there not there?
It froze, so we had to drag a new one over there. So we need the font bigger.
Wait, say it again?
The chat froze, so I had to drag a new one over there, but now it's like really small font. Just how do you make the font bigger?
All right, click on the window and just hit Control Plus until it gets bigger.
There it is. Hey, Spot, you're a genius. Thanks, Laney Poffo.
I gotta go back.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You know what I hate about this? I think Spot sabotaged us.
Me too.
Because all it does is make it look like you and I are incompetent when there was seriously just an internet issue. I feel like Spot really sabotaged it. I really do. I think it went out. You know when it went out? So
Try again.
yeah,
Keep
it's
going.
working. It's working.
Keep doing it.
It went out when I was talking about
that good
AB's
stuff. Oh, lower. Do the minus up.
AB's Instagram
One
and
more.
how he said that football doesn't define him. There's more to life to football. Football's what he does. It's not who he is. Bye, Sarah. Thanks.
All right, so now we'll just pick up.
And we are live. Welcome back to New Year's Rockin' Steve. By the way, on a personal note,
Yeah.
you're going to disagree with me, and I'm going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
But this is where we disagree the most. And it's great. Yesterday, I said, how fucking corny New Year's Rockin' Eve. There's nothing rocking about it.
There is really nothing rocking about it.
I said, I understand you don't have bands like Korn performing at Super Bowl halftime. I get it. But you can't have them at a Rockin' Eve. They've got a new album out. Maybe they don't want to do it. I'm just saying bands like that. And Rich immediately dismisses it at my expense to get a good laugh. Korn? And I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. This is why we're so opposite. I'm thinking, you sound corny dissing them. And then you're thinking, nobody likes that.
No.
And I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Korn's great, but if you think Korn to bring people into the new year in Times Square is like the act that makes sense.
You think 75-year-old Journey is without the lead singer? I mean,
Who watches Rockin' Eve?
I thought they did great.
Who
but-
watches something called New Year's Rockin' Eve?
Well, if they're trying to get a younger audience,
Well, Korn's
that's
not for younger
working.
audiences either.
But they're rocking, and they're still more relevant than a band that fucking hit their prime, 60 years ago. I'm just saying that would be cool.
They named it New Year's Rockin' Eve when rock and roll was a thing.
All right, well, fucking nothing rocking about it. It sucked. But I mentioned a cool band who's still, making new music. I know they're not relevant the way, Dua Lipa is.
Chubby Checker wasn't available? It's from
But,
Cliff.
I mean, why not a rock band, an actual rock band? Why not fucking the White Stripes? Why not Jack White? Why not like some alt nation act? You had to fucking pull out Grandpa with the Filipino guy?
No, I get what you're saying. When you said Korn for New Year's Rockin' Eve, I'm like, I just feel
I was trying to think of like the biggest band of, the 2000s. They're one of the biggest bands of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. After the grunge era,
Korn
held
hit
the
their,
torch.
they hit their prime though decades ago.
But they have a lot of songs. So I'm just saying, why did it suck? That's all I was saying.
Well, look at it from this way. The audience that watches New Year's Rockin' Eve is a very corny audience. So when you're trying to bring some rockers
Papa Roach, I'm with you. NW. They got new music out. They still look good. I understand they're not in their prime. I get that. Neither is fucking 85-year-old Journey.
I get it. They're going to go old acts or young pop acts because guess who's home on New Year's Eve watching? Younger people that aren't partying yet and older people that are done partying.
Papa Roach,
Anyone
best example.
21 to roughly 40. If you're 20 to 40, you're fucking raging or partying on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, but you dismiss it immediately as if I'm corny, and I think you're corny for dismissing it. It was a funny sort of back and forth.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jacoby Shaddix has an amazing pump.
Way more people appreciate Journey than a Papa Roach. That's from Andrew. I agree. I mean,
It was Steve Perry there? I mean, the guy's great. The guy's
you were
great.
arguing in his favor yesterday.
He's
Now
great. He's great. He's fantastic. His voice may be better than Steve Perry's. I give him a lot of credit. So anyway. sports, entertainment, life,
Nothing
technical glitches.
Nothing too rocking about New Year's Eve. But hey,
Spot sabotaging the show. We carry on. We continue. We're Covino and Rich. Everything at Covino and Rich. And let me say this too. We did 3 different Behind the Velvet Ropes over the weekend. I know Spot did some Spoga. Rich did his Teaser Town, USA, talking football. And again, I did a viewing party of 1 for Cobra Kai with bedhead and all. Right out of bed in my Cobra Kai jammies, in my Miyagi-Do jammies, to get you hyped for the new season, which I'm hearing great things about. So again, that's Behind the Velvet Rope for Tier 2 subscribers on our Patreon. Upgrade. And thank you guys again for joining us this month in the new year. Appreciate it.
I have a total thought as to why and how Spot got hurt.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So Spot texted us on our way to work.
Actually, it started last night.
I didn't know about it till this morning.
No, it started last night, meaning we were leaving Fox.
Oh, yeah.
And Spot came to Fox last night.
Yeah.
And after the show, we were getting in our cars. We all park in the same area. It's almost weird. We could park in a garage, but there's 3 street parking spots right outside that always seem to be open. And every week we're all in the same row, like boop, 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 right there. So I see, oh, there's Covino's car. Oh, Spot's not here yet. So we leave at the end of the show. Fist bump. Great show, bro. Last night was on fire.
It was. We're killing it on Fox Sports Radio.
That's.
I mean, we really are.
It's really good.
Rich brings the heat. Rich brings the fury, and I do a lot of counter punching, and it's a lot of fun.
We have a good time on Fox. We get in our car. Spot's like, yeah, I'm going to go across the street. I'm like, what's across the street? I'm like, yeah, he's like, there's a 24-hour fitness inside the Galleria. So Spot's going to the gym.
Yeah, it's the one I used to go to.
Yeah, I used to go to that one back in the day as well. Sort of stinks.
Yeah, it's not that dope.
You know what stinks about it too? Is that this is Shinfo, but the gym Spot went to last night, there's a gym that's sort of in the same vicinity as like a Cheesecake Factory, a movie theater, and all the shit. So you have to park in like a big garage, get validation for your parking. Like to me, there's just an added level of annoyance. Like,
I
forgot
2
my
escalators.
Got to fucking remember my ticket so they could validate it, and then I got to go up escalators through a mall to the gym. Pain in the ass. But hey, what are you gonna do? And Spot was already talking about how, yeah, I'm a little sore, I'm achy in my back or this, that. And I think Spot hasn't worked out long enough.
He's got COVID atrophy.
And somehow, I don't know how, but this will be turned against me. So I'm preparing. But I don't see how it could. Spot is Trey Lance. Let me explain. Yesterday, you come into Fox and you said, yo, I watch your Niners game, bro. Trey Lance got to be careful. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, just because Trey Lance is big and strong and young, which he is, he's a fucking big guy, he's strong.
He's got a weird hairline.
He does. Got a big head.
What's going on with that?
But Trey Lance is used to being like every young stud in sports, every step of the way, up until the NFL or the NBA or the NHL, you're always the best wherever you go. Mm-hmm. You remember Trey Lance was undefeated in his 1 year in college, never threw an interception in college. Like, he's unbeatable until you get to that level.
And when you're young, you're invincible. So
yeah. So Trey Lance is rushing, and he doesn't have the wherewithal yet to be like, oh, let me slide or run out of bounds. Like, he's fucking diving headfirst into safeties and cornerbacks because he's like, oh, that's a little guy in the secondary.
He took 2 consecutive shots.
He took some hits.
Yeah. Where an experienced quarterback usually goes down or runs out of bounds and does everything to avoid that, because in the long haul, in the grand scheme of things, you can't be taking shots like that. It's the NFL.
And you realize very quickly, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they learned that very quickly. In fact, Joe Burrow and Garoppolo a couple of years ago, sometimes you get a little too tricky. You learn the hard way. So Trey Lance, the only reason I bring him up is because he's being a little too risky, and he's not experienced enough to know that he's not experienced enough to know.
Keywords, not experienced enough to know.
Yeah.
I feel an analogy coming on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What you learned 10 or 20 years ago, which was the hard lesson of when I go to the gym while I'm hurt and I push it, fuck, I'm going to hurt myself more.
You gotta listen to your body, right?
Yeah. And there's no way that could be interpreted as a knock to Spot. It just, he started working out a year or so ago. And
he's not experienced enough to know.
No, but he's learning that lesson now that Spot went to the gym banged up. And he said he only went on the treadmill, but sometimes when you push yourself, even if it's just running, I've done it before, and it's always stupid. It's always stupid.
Right, you sneeze.
I've done it where I'm like, yeah, my fucking bicep hurts a lot. Oh, I'll go anywhere.
Well, honestly, sometimes you don't know whether to.
Yeah,
even if you had a cold or something, like, do I push through it? You know, I'm a little sore. Do I push through it? No pain, no gain. That's how we grew up, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad lessons we learned. Finish all your food on your plate. Like, maybe I shouldn't, Grandpa.
Yeah.
What about portion control?
Yeah, I
finish
do
it
that.
all. Real man finishes it.
I do that with my daughter.
No pain, no gain.
I don't make Emmy finish any food anymore because. So you told me that, or someone told me that. I'm like, that's a great thought. If Emmy's like, I don't want dinner, I'm like, all right, you don't need to eat.
I never.
And the answer to that is, well, guess what? If a kid's hungry, guess what they're gonna say? Mom or Dad, I'm hungry. So if a kid's like, yo, I had 1 or 2 nuggets and I'm not hungry.
Here's the thing, though. You don't want them eating at fucking 10:30 because they weren't hungry at normal time.
Oh no, but yeah, I guess we're a little bit of an older kid. But I'm saying a little kid. A lot of times, a little kid will be like, I don't want it, and you're like, all right, well, fucking then don't eat. And I'll say that rudely. I say, like, don't eat, because if that kid's hungry, they'll then say, I'm hungry.
So Spot, not being experienced enough, a la Trey Lance, paid the price.
Spot's Trey Lance.
And what did he do? I thought he hurt himself lifting weights.
He said it was simply running. He got on the treadmill, and he said just moving on the treadmill hurt him.
Now he's saying he can't move.
Yeah. Spot. I was like, I talked to Spot this morning, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to come over. I hurt my back. So I thought we were going to see Spot from his house. I thought Spot just didn't feel like sitting in his car, driving here and everything. He's like, no, you don't get it. I can't even, like, move. I'm like,
he might have to go to the ER, is what he said.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't, like even when we just called Spot to help us set up today because he wasn't here, he was laying shirtless on his stomach on the bed, like, all right, guys, start OBS and then start YouTube Live, and then,
That's what happened, by the way. So,
and it just
giving you the scoop.
And yeah, you know what? Sometimes it's just simply running, and I hope Spot feels better. But
that's a lot of impact, man, on your lower back.
It's in every guy's instinct to try to work through it, and sometimes working through it works out. Like I said, sometimes you go to the gym, like, and my shoulder hurts. I'll go anyway. You go and you're fine. But then every guy's been there at least one time in his life where you're like, my shoulders hurts. You go to the gym. The first set you do, you're like, fuck, I made it worse. I made it worse. And
that's why I'm taking it slow.
Yeah, I don't even know. I just don't even know where Spot goes from here.
To the ER. Honestly. Yeah. I mean, he has to go to Simon's dad.
If your back is
Simon
that fucked up that you can't move,
he had to prescribe me.
You might be sidelined for months.
Yeah, I was. If you guys remember, I was suffering all 2020, early 2021 with major back pain.
Everyone knows
probably believed me.
Everyone knows that feeling, but it usually, for most people, it's like 1 or 2 days where, like, you slept weird or something. You're like, oh, like,
but I had to take something, Rich, to at least calm the nerve enough to heal itself, like, so the swelling could go down, heal itself, and then eventually my body wasn't crooked anymore. That's really what happened. So he has a pinched nerve, I would imagine. That's what he said as well. So spinal.
It's very.
I broke my back.
It's very easy for your instinct to be like, well, I'll try to work through it.
Spinal.
A lot of times when you do,
spinal. Sorry,
makes
Spot.
It worse. But hey, feel better, Spot.
Drew Mack says, "What's up, Drew Mack? One of my favorite shows of all time is when Covino was screaming in pain from his back or neck. Yeah, I was having major issues." And again, had to take some pretty strong stuff to calm that nerve down and give it time to heal. And it did. I thank Simon's dad.
Jason saying,
hits one Hollywood Simon's dad.
Jason said he's been dealing with bulging discs. I did. Oh, discs. Okay. Bulging discs in his lower back since 2021. When he gets a flare up, a lot of water, Motrin, Aleve, take it easy for a couple days.
Leave me alone.
I think you get to a certain age, you're just sort of permanently banged up. Like my shoulder, it permanently hurts.
Jeff,
But I
the
feel like
jerk
that's just
man?
I feel like that's just like normal behavior.
Jeff said Spot caught a case of the old guy. He says of the old.
It's possible.
Or COVID atrophy. Blame it on Rich.
COVID atrophy.
COVID atrophy.
There you go.
Pushing himself too much too quick.
Back and neck problems are the absolute worst. Back pain sucks. Yeah, because you're so disabled's the wrong word, but yeah, you're so like you really can't do anything. If you have a bad back, like
You're on the IL.
he's on the IL for sure.
You're injured, not disabled.
Let's see. He just put a lidocaine patch on. Yeah.
We're getting live updates from Spot as we speak. So, hey, Spot, I get it.
Just to sum up what Spot's going through, I think we all feel the same way. Anytime you feel that way, your instinct is like, fuck, do I go to a real doctor? Do I go to get a massage? Maybe do I just need to go to the chiropractor? Will that help? Then you're like, oh, or do I just take meds? Do I do a heating pad? Do I do ice?
I did all of those things, and it carried on for months and months and months.
No, I'm saying, but
so
I
suggest he see. Who does Simon's dad do? What does he do? He's like is he like a neurologist or some shit? What does he do?
I don't know.
What is he?
Why, your neurologist is your brain, right?
No, I know, but I thought it had something to do with my nervous system. Remember?
I don't know.
He's a spinal doctor.
He's the inventor of Tiger Balm.
Yeah, go see Simon's dad. Whatever he is, whatever does.
Simon's dad is,
I don't know.
Go see that guy.
But it had to
And
do
whatever
with
he
my
does, he
nerves.
makes a lot of money. Because if you see Simon's Instagram, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
whatever he does, he makes a lot of money.
She's got lots of money as a result. See Simon's dad. He'll prescribe you something, and it'll relieve you. And they'll eventually, hopefully, you heal as a result. All right.
The bad back though, it is like it's debilitating for everything else you're trying to do. There's no
there's nothing that makes you feel more like an old man than back pain.
You
So
ever do that thing where you're trying to put on a shoe, but you have to turn a certain way? You're like, it's a humiliating, debilitating feeling.
I would have to do it like kneel, like you're proposing, just to put a shoe on. You know what I mean?
Now it's in his ass cheek. He took a muscle relaxer, a Vicodin. Yeah.
Nah, I would skip all of that.
But I'll be honest, like
I did deep tissue massage. I did chiropractors for months. I tried to rest it off, and I did every stretch.
I know what you're saying, but it's gonna be different for everyone. But honestly, everything you just mentioned, every guy goes through in their mind. Like, should I just do the foam roller? Oh, that's gonna be painful. Well, so foam roller, go to the chiropractor. Maybe my alignment's off a little. We'll do the trick, and then you're like, what if I just get a massage and they just push it out my lower back? You start thinking every solution, and you're right. Most of them are just like, oh, it feels good for a second, and then you're like, no,
That's all temporary relief.
Yeah.
Sciatic nerve, whatever it may be, whatever's pinched right now. He said he felt it in his leg, so it's probably like some sort of
nerve, yeah,
sciatica thing.
Oh, Spot, did you take some Tussin? Tussin usually helps.
Maybe put a little Vicks on it. Maybe a little sana culito de rana. Maybe that'll help.
But you know what? It's
But if you really want to just cut to the chase, see Simon's dad. Whatever he does, he'll give you an X-ray and he'll look at make sure your spine is not fucked up or whatever. And then he'll say, "Oh, I can see right there. You got a nerve. It's getting pinched right there. Take this. Ta-da! Save yourself the time."
Find inversion table. I have a better idea.
I did that too.
Spot.
I did that. Remember, I was at Jordan's mom's house, upside down, like fucking George McFly.
Spot. Is there a way you could buy an inversion table and do the show upside down like George McFly?
Wasting your time.
Imagine Spot in the corner like a bat upside down.
Go to the doctor, Spot.
No, I want upside down Spot in the corner.
Yeah. And by the way, when I was in Idaho, I went to the gym, and I can't tell you. Remember, I did a week out?
Yeah.
I didn't do a workout. I did a week out, the Pee Wee Herman workout.
Yeah. Week out.
I did like 3 days of a week out just to try to get back. Can I tell you my back is all fucked up? Not like Spots, but I have crooked body as a result. Just from that week out because I have COVID atrophy. Or maybe I have pandemic for 2 years atrophy of not doing anything.
No, Spot just needs to take some ginger ale and saltines. What is that? No, that's not for a backache. What else?
Vicks Vapor Rub. All right.
Have you ever got? I never even asked you. I'm sure you may have said on the show.
She's been gay.
She's
been gayest.
When I went to,
you don't like that, like old school joke?
Ben Gay.
Come on, man.
You know what's so funny? My son will never know that joke. His name is Ben. He'll never know it.
At least you hope not.
No. I mean, a kid that was named Ben in the 80s is probably like, yeah, what are you, Ben Gay? Like now, like that's like so terribly, a kid would never say that. So,
and by the way, when I say hope not, I don't mean I don't hope he's not gay. I'm saying I hope he's not teased.
I hope he's not gay either.
I feel like, but I feel
mean,
like
if he was gay, I'd love him, but
Right.
I'd prefer him not be gay.
Right.
Is that weird? You allowed to say that? I prefer them not be gay.
I don't know.
Is that you allowed to say that?
When I say that, I just have to.
I'd prefer that, but
Right.
if he is gay, then I'm not going to love him any less. But you're
Trying
allowed
to
to
be clear.
prefer something, right? Are you allowed to say like I hope my kid is a straight kid?
I don't, dude. I don't know.
I don't know. What's the rule? Are we allowed to say that?
I don't know.
An inversion table for Spot is the answer. You're right. In the corner, just him upside down, and we can mount his computer table upside down, and he could just do the show upside down.
To answer your question, yeah, we do live in the upside down.
But-
Just to
but
answer
no,
your question,
but
you
if the
can't say
camera-
that,
he can
'cause
flip
you
the
can't even be friends with a guy who has different opposing views.
What
Ask
a
Patton Oswalt.
What a transition. Let's bring that up. But I really do think Spot upside down because his hair would hang, but the camera would be the other angle, so it would be an upside down Spot. That's what we need. Inversion table. Let's order one today.
You know what? It could be great impact for the show. Like Covino and Rich. I don't know if I know those guys.
The guys with the upside down producer?
Oh yeah. I think I've seen them before. The upside down guy. Yeah. I've seen
Yeah, the
them.
producer
I've
is
seen
fucking
them.
hanging from.
might put us on the map finally.
Yeah, the Patton Oswalt thing. Let's dive into that. But I wanted to ask you real quick about when you went to see Simon's dad, who is the answer probably to all of Spot's problems.
In other words, go get it checked out by a professional.
Yeah, go to a real doctor. Going to the joint chiropractic and going to get a massage
Did
will
all
give you
that.
some nice temporary relief. But if it's something, hey, that might be the trick. But if it's something a little more serious, then those things are just little temporary. They're little band-aids.
And who knows if it's hurting you more in the long run? Who knows?
Let's see. You don't need to flip the monitor. You could do that. Yeah, that's fantastic. We need an upside down Spot like George McFly.
Okay.
When you were at Simon's dad, did you ever get a cortisone shot or just other shots? Because a cortisone shot is a big fucking. I never did. I got.
Did I tell you what happened though? You remember this, right?
I got.
when he pulled up my X-ray and my junk was there for real, all smushed up like that. I did not. I told you that, right?
X-ray junk? Did you think
Yeah.
he showed his daughter?
Simon's dad
Hey, you know-
definitely got full on. There's no way he's like, oh, nice hog, but you can see here, the nerve is pinched.
You think he showed his daughter? Like,
There's-
you know that guy you work with? Look at his hog.
I'm looking at him. Look at my X-ray, and my junk is just right there on the X-ray.
Is it like droopy to the side?
It
or-
was all smushed up in my chonies, but it was there, a little beefy.
little beefy. I never got a cortisone shot, but he was giving me anti-inflammatory shots on my shoulder, which always felt fantastic. But the cortisone shot, you'd know, because that's a big needle. Isn't there a big difference for any doctor? Is it the difference between an anti-inflammatory, like a regular needle in your shoulder versus... Isn't the cortisone shot like a big-ass needle? Did you ever get one when you played baseball?
Not that I remember.
All right, well, there's a couple stories to get to, but you said the Patton Oswalt one, and I actually wrote that down in my notes because it was eye-rolling, and again...
I brought up Patton Oswalt in answer to your question of, can you say, I don't want my kid to be gay? And my response was, when I thought about it, you can't even associate or take a picture with somebody that has some
different beliefs.
different views on the gay culture. That person being Dave Chappelle. Patton Oswalt is a comedian who's been on our show. Nice guy. Patton Oswalt did a show with Dave Chappelle over the weekend, had to apologize to the nation and his fans who were furious to see him being buddy chummy with a guy who has different views. Meanwhile, Patton Oswalt and Dave Chappelle have been friends for like 35, 40 years or something ridiculous like that. They've known each other through the comedy circuit forever. So Patton Oswalt made a public apology. You know, he was like, but hear me out. You know, I don't agree with everything he says, but so I've been friends with him for you know, professionally.
Him and Dave Chappelle.
For a long time.
Him and Dave Chappelle hanging out, and
They posted pictures.
yeah, not that you need to see the picture, but hey, boom, just picture of him and Patton Oswalt. So Patton writes, finish my set at McCaw Hall and got a text from Dave Chappelle. Come over to the arena. He's performing. Do you want to do a guest set? Why not? I waved goodbye to this hell year with a genius I started with in comedy 34 years ago. He works an arena like he's talking to one person and charms their skin off. Goes on to say some nice things about Chappelle.
How cool of Chappelle, though, right? To look out his guy like that. I think so.
Come over. It wasn't like come over. I'm at the Chuckle Factory.
Not that Patton Oswalt's some sort of chump or anything. He's a big comedian. But I think that's cool.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying that when you're looking at Dave Chappelle, he invited Patton Oswalt to perform, not in front of like, hey, I'm at the Gotham Comedy Club. He's at an arena.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, hey, you ready to do this? Because I'm in an arena. So let me show you. I mean, not that you could see, but here, it's just a very simple picture of him and Dave Chappelle. That was the controversial thing, right? Then the feedback was so negative that the next post, now that was posted 2 days ago. Shortly after that post, he posted a picture of himself looking all sad Patton. Did you see that? Look at sad Patton. He's sitting in a dressing room looking at a mirror, like making some notes.
Like a sad Vato clown.
Yo, sad Patton. So sad Patton Oswalt has to then write a whole, like you have to press more twice to see how long the message is. It's like message, like super long.
Geoff is saying that, Patton Oswalt is very liberal and has a lot of liberal fans as a result.
Yeah, but that's like saying saying I don't have, and you don't have friends that are all over the board politically and religiously and everything. Like that's ridiculous. Patton Oswalt's a grown man.
Ridiculous.
I have friends that don't leave their house because they're scared of COVID, and I have friends that think COVID is a hoax. If you don't have friends that are all over the spectrum on everything in life,
100%.
I have friends that are super religious that like believe the Bible word for word, and then I have friends that are atheists. You can't, to say that you can't have friends that disagree with you or each other on life issues, like
and by
what
the
type
way,
of fucking loser behavior is that?
And I don't know the intricacies of their relationship, but it seems like they have a mutual respect for each other regardless of these beliefs. They came up together.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to find an angle here, Cove.
The angle is very petty to expect someone to disassociate themselves, even professionally, because this is big for Patton Oswalt. So he's supposed to say no because of the backlash he got on social media. Nick Sparlin hit us up about this.
Yeah, and
he goes, I was at this show, and for Patton feeling like he needs to apologize for doing a drop in a show for Dave is idiotic. They've been friends for over 34 years. Dude shouldn't have to apologize for being friends. And like I said, friends, even professional friends, he shouldn't have to apologize. He's friends with the GOAT, doing a New Year's Eve show with him at an arena. People are so petty. TMZ reports Patton Oswalt apologizes for the New Year's Eve photo with Dave Chappelle. Just because, you know how many professional relationships I have with people? I have no idea of their religious or political beliefs. I don't care. I see that guy, I get along with him, I know. That could be the extent of their relationship. Again, just a mutual respect. There's a lot of people that you and I have a mutual respect for. It doesn't mean we stand for the same things.
Patton Oswalt, I think the best argument you can make is that he claims to be not just supportive of the LGBTQ community.
Well, doesn't it make more sense for him to talk to Chappelle's crowd then?
No, but what he's saying is not only is he like a supporter of them, he claims to be an ally. And I saw someone make this point that there's a difference. Like Covino, you're all for everyone having rights, right? Steve Covino, reasonable man.
I see most people having wrongs though.
You're not against anyone having rights.
I'm not against anything.
Exactly. But you're also not like Steve Covino, LGBTQ activist and ally. Difference maybe because there's a difference in agreeing with something or disagreeing with something and being like a part of their team.
Okay.
And maybe
that's a fair point, right?
That's the only angle I can see.
On the flip side, he could then say, hey, look, I thought I could, as an ally, speak to some people and maybe have them look at things in a different way.
No, that's not the answer, but that's ridiculous.
Why is that ridiculous?
Because Patton Oswalt didn't perform with Dave Chappelle to open the eyes up of Dave's audience.
But maybe his comedy will.
Patton Oswalt,
Do you think he should have apologized then?
not at all.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Let's
Also not make it seem like. Let's also make it not seem like Patton Oswalt did that gig to open the eyes of people.
Okay.
He just did the
All right,
gig
but how
because
about
Dave
this?
Chappelle's his friend.
I'm
What's the fucking
I'm
problem?
an ally. The guy does a show because someone asked him to because they have a mutual respect for each other. Does that make him less of an ally? Like, I mean, he's still doing more for the community than I am, and he has to apologize to them now?
Agreed.
Fuck out of here.
An ally, according to Jason Brown, is someone who is actively fighting for that group.
Is
and
he not?
And if you're actively fighting for that group, you're palling around with the one guy who that group is at odds with.
Yeah, so he's supposed to be like, hey, man, I know we have all this history, but I don't like you anymore.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I know.
I know.
just telling
and
you.
I'm playing devil's advocate, or I'm answering the questions as we go.
You're
There's
not
a
gonna
lot
agree.
of guys that we've worked. You got to put it in your own perspective, guys. So basically, you're saying if someone at your workplace doesn't line up with you religiously, politically, or socially, you no longer, associate with that guy. You no longer have respect for that guy. Or you could have different views and fucking still get along.
I'll give you a great example.
Be realistic.
I'll give you a great example because I'm the fucking king of examples
You're the king of bongo bong. Look it up.
and examples.
Good song.
Steve Covino
Party of one.
is all buddy and chummy with a guy that he has zero in common with.
Who?
And that guy's name is Pete Dominic.
Oh, yeah.
You're allowed to be buddy chummy pals
love
with someone, but also think, yo, you and I don't agree on much.
Love Pete.
That's the best example.
He'd make fun of me.
King of examples.
I'd make fun of him. He really thinks I'm an idiot, and I really think he's a jerk off. But I'll give him a hug, and I love him, and I'd be so happy to see him right now. And I have a mutual respect for him, even though we disagree. Yeah. And I think it goes both ways. Like professional respect.
I feel that way about Pete Dominic and Andrew Wilkow.
A ton of people.
Those are two guys that are too extreme for me, but personally, there's people politically, socially that I'm gonna totally. Listen, who do I always talk when I go to Texas? Who do I always talk about as like one of my best buds? Turner.
Yeah.
My wife's friend Loren married a guy named Turner. I can't tell you how very little in common I have with this guy.
Yeah.
But he's probably my favorite person in Texas.
I bet.
This guy is super religious. His ideas on COVID are a little out there. His ideas on so many things in society are different than me. But if you had asked me, yo, you're going to Texas, who do you want to hang with? Yeah, I'd love to go get lunch with Turner.
Because is he a bad guy just because he doesn't agree with you?
He's one of the best guys.
Okay,
but you know what?
That's the point.
He's one of the best guys, but guess what we agree on with that type of shit? Probably nothing. But I fucking love the guy. Why can't Dave Chappelle and Patton Oswalt keep their friendship without any of you giving a fuck? And I'm not talking about you, the collective you.
I get it, because he's an ally and blah, blah, blah.
All right? I mean,
now you gotta make him feel bad about it?
Genuine apology. Probably Patton Oswalt seems like a genuine guy, but I just hate, like, do you think he hit up Dave Chappelle like, Dave, I gotta do this? Or do you think Dave is like, we'll give you this pussy?
I bet you Dave brings it up in his next special. He should. He should. It's
so
ridiculous.
I'm with Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt's a good dude.
Yeah. He's the voice of the Goldbergs. And it was awesome.
It was awesome. All right, so
well, anyway, that's
apologies.
Then I feel like I'm sounding. Blah. Then I feel like you and I are sounding all righteous, but we're just sounding reasonable.
It's not wishy-washy. It's not righteous.
No. I'm just saying.
You gave great examples. Andrew Wilkow, another jerk off, right?
Yeah.
If I seen him in the hallway, I'd be like, yo, what's up? Mutual respect. Came up together. I'd give him a bro hug. He'd talk to me about working out and some right-wing, crazy right-wing shit. And I wouldn't agree with any of it, probably.
Probably white wing.
Some white wing shit. And I'm like, yo, I don't give a fuck about that. You're the man. What's up, man? So how you been? There's a respect there. Not everybody has to line up all the time in every fucking facet of life. It's not going to happen. Stop being a pussy.
Yeah, it's I nothing rolls my eyes more than when liberals.
What would Johnny Lawrence do? That's what I say.
When liberals or conservatives make it seem like the other person is like so awful. Like, can't we all just have? What happened to the days of? Hey, I got my own. You know, maybe the old generation was right when they were like, fucking don't talk about this shit. You could say that You could say that the conversation is out there, but has the conversation done anything good?
You know what's interesting about this? If you're so consistent with your beliefs, what do you disown your family members? Or you think all your family members, they all line up with you? You fucking break.
I did, like back in the day, it was don't talk about religion or politics, which now would probably be don't talk about religion, politics, COVID, this, that, anything, right? If you kept those things to yourself, we'd probably be better off. Now, that's probably lame to say in 2021 because everyone loves sharing their opinion and being heard and get the dialogue and narrative and conversation. But to me, everyone seemed to get along a lot better when those personal thoughts, fucking keep them to yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe this whole oversharing, like, what do you really feel and think? It's overrated.
I want to see how consistent everybody is when their kids have different beliefs. You going to disown them?
Some people do disown family.
Well, they're pieces of shit.
I know a couple.
Are they right for that? Oh, yeah. You know what? You guys are the right ones.
I know a couple that
Or do you just say, you know what? Everyone's going to have their own beliefs, yet we could still get along. What's the right answer here? What's the right answer? It's pretty fucking clear, unless you're an idiot. Not everyone's going to line up.
And by the way, great point, Raymond.
No, great point, Steve.
Oh, yeah, great point, Steve, too.
New Year's Steve. New Year's Steve. New Year, new me.
Raymond said it best. John McCain was like one of the last like great dudes to bring this up in public by just being like, yo, Barack Obama is a great man. We just disagree on everything.
It's like same way with John McCain.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure Obama would say the same thing about him.
And you know what? It's sort of like when you see my favorite friendship of all time, Michelle Obama and George Bush. Like, sometimes you can love other people and admire them and be like, yo, I really don't believe in anything you believe in. But you know what? You could be a good person. Twitter is not a real place, to quote Dave Chappelle. He did say that. Mind your business, lady, to quote DMX, the late great DMX. We do have to stop pretending that Twitter and social media accurately depicts, you know what, though? When you talk about people, what are they going to do? Disown their family? The answer, sadly, Covino, is yes.
Oh, then you're right.
No, but do you know how many people
disown your own kid when they don't agree with you because you have old-fashioned thinking and they're going to be coming up in a new place?
Yeah, but that's generationally happened. How many times did
But you're saying that's the right answer.
No, but I'm saying
it's the wrong answer.
It's always happened and it'll continue to happen.
So get over it and realize if you want to be the bigger person and you want to be so righteous, realize that not everyone is going to think the way you think. Right? Aren't we supposed to love everybody regardless of their beliefs and everything?
I saw a meme. Remember I saw that meme the other day and I was like, yo, it's so funny because it was a meme about stupid people and how they blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yo, it's so funny because I saw someone I know was a liberal person tweet it thinking like it's directed at like super conservatives. And I saw a conservative tweet the same thing thinking it was about liberals because it was like, the sentiment was pretty much like society lets stupid people dictate things. And I was like, yo, both groups think this is for the other group.
You don't have it in your
I got it
in your trash because I remember you reading it.
Yeah, it was
You're
like
not doing it justice. I remember.
Yeah, no, but it was like the world bends for stupidity. I'm like, liberals think they're talking about like stupid rednecks, and conservatives think they're talking about like woke morons. They both think this meme's about the other person.
Right?
How funny.
Right. Here's how you gotta decipher these things.
I know a couple.
Are they coming from a hateful place? Is this a hateful place? Yeah, you don't have to agree with that.
Remember I told you I knew a couple...
do they just have different views? Yeah, that's okay.
Remember I told you I knew a couple that broke up because of Donald Trump? Yeah. They got divorced because of Donald Trump. It's like, wow. I mean, of course, there were bigger issues, but
Donald Trump is tearing his family apart.
But like a woman I know, her husband became like super Trumper and was like, I don't want to hang with your family anymore because they're on the wrong side of history. And she's like, yo, you've gone fucking...
Because everybody's gone fucking crazy.
Yeah. He's like, I can't be around your family because they don't see what's really going on here. And they got fucking divorced.
Politics was never like this open of a conversation. It wasn't like a pop culture conversation that everyone cared about.
Because there
some
was
people were into politics, other people weren't.
Yeah, because there was a
Now
level
everybody
of,
wants to talk about it.
There was a level of mutual respect. And I mean, I could be wrong because we were younger and maybe we didn't really know. But the reality was, like, let's say George Bush faced Clinton in the, let's say, 88 election. I'm sorry, the 92 election. 88, Bush won. Bush, Clinton, 92. Bush loses re-election.
What year was this again? When
92.
Bush loses?
92.
It's kind of like when Bush started actually going away too, right? Coincidence?
It's really interesting.
Think about it.
Did Bush
I think
losing?
Bush went away around 94, I think. 92, 94. Coincidence?
So Bush.
Maybe Clinton had something to do with it.
Man,
I sure
it's
did.
very interesting.
I sure did.
I've never been a fan of pubic hair.
I sure did.
So when he beat Bush,
Not a fan of LaBouche.
you know what people didn't say? People didn't then carry on for years saying like they still supported Bush. It's like, yo, your guy lost. Get over it. There's a weird feeling that like, yo, Donald Trump lost. You know that, right? The people that support him, like, has there ever been a time where people still had flags and banners of the guy that lost? The Confederate flag?
I was going to say the Confederate flag.
I mean, I don't think there was anyone back in the 80s when we were kids who was like, yeah, well, I'm still team Michael Dukakis. It's like, yo, motherfucker lost. Let's move on. That's what people used to do. Hey, your team lost?
I still wear my Michael Dukakis t-shirt.
Yeah.
Does that make me weird?
It's a great relic.
So anyway, fucking Patton Oswalt's in the news. Like TMZ's all on his dick. Everyone's hating on him.
Let me cross that off.
As
Patton
an
Oswalt.
ally, he did the wrong thing. Well, guess what? Maybe he shouldn't have been an ally in the first place.
But now he just looks stupid to everybody. Now he looks stupid to his people that support him because he was like, I thought you were our team member. And now.
That's why he's sad.
Yeah, he's sad, Patton Oswalt, because to liberals, he looks like a traitor. And to
Sad
everyone
and
else,
Oswalt.
he looks like a fucking pussy for putting out a fucking apology. So if anything, Patton Oswalt just looks like a fool right now.
Yeah, that sucks. Keep your shit to yourself.
Man, what are you going to do?
Or just be reasonable. People have different views. Okay. Okay. Is it hateful? If it's hateful, then you can tell them to fuck off. Are they just different views? Okay.
Let's see. The issue isn't like tax disagreements. This is from Efron Stu, our buddy Stu Hotwagon, who looks like a young Zac Efron.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do gay people have rights, or can a woman get an abortion? Or should black people stop being shot by the cops with zero cause? They're more applicable issues opposed to like your parents might have been like, well, George Bush and Bill Clinton are taxes. Like, are we just seeing more real life issues come to light, which is why people are more into it? Or social media just really perpetuated everyone having an opinion?
A little bit of both, probably. You know, it became a mainstream thing where it just wasn't before. You know, and social issues and changing social issues and changing views on social issues made them an everyday, dinner conversation.
Yeah, but then again, the guy involved, and you know how I feel. I'm not, I don't love or hate Donald Trump. I'm genuinely like you, sort of like in the middle on the
The shrugging Indian.
I'm like-
I'm the emoji guy.
He did a lot of good, did a lot of bad.
You know
He
why
was
I
in
say
between.
shrugging Indian? Because the white emoji is too white, and then the brown emoji is just a little too dark.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one to pick. So a lot of times I'm just the shrugging Indian in the middle.
But have you ever thought though about Donald Trump, where
I always think about Donald Trump.
No, I'm saying in politics and in life, no one has ever been so present after losing.
No, it's amazing.
Like if he would have just faded away and
I'm
been
trying
like,
to think of another
yeah,
example.
like I'm like, I think that's part of what keeps.
Did you see his conversation with Candace Owens about Alec Baldwin?
No.
He used this. Alec Baldwin, made fun of him for years on SNL. He used this as a total opportunity to get back at Alec Baldwin. Like, instead of being reasonable about it, he's like, I don't know. Bad. He's a bad man.
Maybe he did it on purpose.
Yeah. Like, he used every opportunity to, like, imply that Alec Baldwin could have done it because he's a bad guy. Because he's a bad guy. He's a weird guy. I never thought he was funny.
Oh, and by
It's
the way,
very possible.
Reggie, I thought Let's Go Brandon was hilarious. And last week I made the point that it was funny how it happened. And then I said, like a lot of good jokes, they get old real quick if they're abused and annoying, right? Like,
Well, you know how he could have silenced Donald Trump or the world could have silenced Donald Trump if Joe Biden and this presidency like just came out the gate swinging and kicking ass,
yeah.
right? Winning is the cure to everything. We always say that.
And you know, it just sucks because people are just seeing
Winning.
the world because of COVID still sort of stinking, right?
Yeah,
And
stinking like Abe Lincoln.
gas prices, jobs, all this shit is like, you know, people aren't really happy. So what are you gonna do? That's
You know how every day, can I switch gears? Because
Please
I don't
do.
want to
I
talk
don't
about
wanna talk
I
about
hate
that shit
these
either.
divisive conversations. Look, Patton Oswalt, I see where he misstepped. Don't think we don't see where he misstepped. We see it. But you have to fucking think beyond that. Professional relationships doesn't mean you line up politically, socially, religiously, any of that shit.
Yo, dude. Since I am the emperor of examples, the king, I'm like Haku and Harley Race all in one.
The king of Bongo Bong.
There was another one that to me,
Manu Chao.
was like, really? They can't be friends because, okay. Remember when Ellen was hanging out with George Bush? And people were like,
I like that.
me too.
That's what the
And
world
I-
needs.
and it was like,
You know what the world needs? Me and Pete Dominic hugging it out. Me, Pete Dominic, Andrew Wilkow, Rich, we're hugging it out. Ellen, George Bush, hugging it out, dancing together. That's what the world needs. Fucking idiots.
to me, it's like, when that was years ago, but you remember people were like, can you believe Ellen's
Year's
hanging out
Steve.
with George Bush? And it's like, so wait, Ellen and George W. Bush can't have like a mutual
They can't have
respect and
fun
friendship, and they can't go watch a game together and
New
be in the
Year's
same
Steve.
owner's booth? Like, really?
New Year's Steve. The all accepting side can't accept someone who doesn't agree. Oh, wait a second. You're all accepting. The all accepting. I'm the all accepting. But you can't accept. And it goes both ways. Fucking hypocrites.
Everyone.
Eat an asshole.
Hypocrite.
New Year's Steve. Idiots. Rich, just a fun fact. Remember that thought that could be a fading thought. You ever bring up a conversation you wish you didn't bring up?
Oh, by the way, speaking of fades, did you get the
I did.
message from our barber?
I did. I'm
Our
coming.
barbershop is officially closed down,
Look at that. Look at my hair. Holy fuck.
and he's now doing his own thing.
Yeah,
at that.
our barber's moved on. You ever bring up a conversation that you sort of wish you didn't bring up? You're like, oh man, why did I bring this up? It's kind of falling flat. I mean, it happens here on the show.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Try to recover with
you
a funny
could-
joke.
You could say the last 5 minutes. That's
a pretty popular and viral story that's in our wheelhouse
of course,
of people we like. Chappelle, Patton Oswalt.
I do this sadly with family sometimes. While I'll bring
Right.
up something, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Now this conversation's gone on too long. I wish I didn't even bring it up.
Remember when I had dinner with Dallas and Colton, my girlfriend Jordan's sister and brother-in-law?
Yeah.
You know, they're younger than me, but I don't feel that when we're hanging out. I don't think they do either, but it's a fact, right? So some of the things I may bring up may be a dated reference, might not longer apply, might not even be true anymore. And I was telling them how I saw this magnificent Abe Lincoln statue in a park in Idaho, right? Speaking of, stinking like Abe Lincoln in presidencies. And I shared with them the thought that we discussed in depth. Feels like yesterday, but it was probably fucking 15 years ago. And that was the study. It was probably like a Maxim study. Maxim magazine is no longer even a brand, barely. No longer a magazine. So the theory was that subconsciously, everyone thinks of Abe Lincoln at least once a day. Whether it be a street sign, a school, your currency, you see a guy with a top hat, you see a guy with a beard. Like subconsciously, everyone thinks of Abe Lincoln at least once a day. Now, a lot of time has passed since we discussed this, but I always found it to be true. Like I always
think of Abe Lincoln.
I think of Abe Lincoln almost once a day. So I share this thought at the dinner table with people significantly younger than me because we're talking about the statue I just saw. And I was like, subconsciously, everybody thinks of Abe Lincoln at least once a day. Whether, like I said, it's through money, a penny, all three of them at the table simultaneously said to me, No, I don't ever think of Abe
Well,
Lincoln.
then you know what? Send them this article.
Oh,
I found
please.
it. I found it.
Please send it to me. But all three of them, and I'm like, I sunk in my chair like, man, I probably shouldn't have brought that up because we don't use money the way we did, in the early 2000s. Maybe this thought and theory really doesn't apply to a younger person.
There's
like, no, I don't. You know what?
There's
I haven't
Reddit.
thought of him since social studies class back in in middle school.
There's Reddit and Pinterest threads dedicated to statistically every American thinks about Abe Lincoln once every day.
Please send it to me.
I will.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, I found a fun fact because I was watching some special on History Channel. Do you know why he decided to grow the beard? I knew this and forgot.
Tell me. This is a great fun fact. Let's hear it.
This is true. It's not a stupid joke or anything. And the backstory was some dude was making lithographs of Abe Lincoln and was selling them to people because he stood for anti-slavery.
Yeah.
So if you had this lithograph, this screen print of Abe Lincoln, and you posted it proudly, it showed what side of the fence you were on.
Yeah.
Right? So he was selling these things like hotcakes until
Until he hung out with Dave Chappelle?
no.
Abe
Abe Lincoln was reading the newspaper one day, and an 11-year-old girl wrote an article to that newspaper. And it said, Mr. Lincoln, I sort of believe and stand for everything you stand for, but I feel like you'd come across more presidential and more believable and more credible if you grow a beard. So an 11-year-old girl wrote that in a newspaper. Abe Lincoln's like, she's on to something. He grows his beard, and as the story goes, this dude he lost fucking tons of money because no one wanted that picture anymore. I forget what company he ended up being the founder of.
That girl fucked over Abe Lincoln's.
Fucked over that
guy's business.
The guy had to do a whole new fucking screen print of the beard and had all this inventory, and I don't know, but I feel like I knew that and forgot. And was reminded on the History Channel that he only grew the beard because of an 11-year-old little girl that
by the way,
told him he should.
You also asked a Canadian if they think about Abe Lincoln every day. Colton's Canadian, isn't he?
Yeah, but, I mean, Dallas and Jordan aren't. But he's Canadian, but he's been here a long time. So.
Abe Lincoln. I'm looking
Abe
at
Lincoln.
pictures.
Thinking
I'm
like Abe
looking
Lincoln.
at paintings of him with the beard and yeah.
But he only grew it to appear more presidential, which is interesting because when Richard Nixon was scruffy, didn't they use that against him? Because John F. Kennedy was so
He looked disheveled.
Clean
That's
cut.
why he looked. It wasn't a beard. He was just disheveled.
yeah, but
5 o'clock
his
shadow.
5 o'clock shadow was part of the story.
Yeah, that was something we all learned in history class.
Does anyone remember who ended up prospering from those screen prints and lithographs I'm speaking of? Because I don't remember what company that was.
I agree with John ZL. Lincoln rocked the mustacheless beard, which I do think is weak, but he pulls it off. Like him and LeBron James might be the only people I've seen rock it for an extended period of time.
Yeah, the old neck beard. So anyway, that's your history class of the day. You're not
Fun fact.
dismissed yet. Not
fact.
dismissed yet.
Fun
Even though
fact.
kids are back to school, enjoy
Today.
that shit. Because it is stressful. Yo, man, every day I was trying to think of like, I become overbearing and annoying. I'm like, Melody, you want to do something? Melody, you good? Melody, you want to go for a walk? Melody, she's like, Dad, chill, I'm good. I'm glad she's back in school.
Good. Yeah, Emmy's back at school today too, and trust me, I get my little midday freedom back. I have a little window in the middle of the day where I, finish recording. We're done doing this, and I'm like, I just have like an hour to myself or so. And with the kids here, it's fucking not easy. So yeah, back to school, as the old Christmas song said.
As Rodney Dangerfield said, Thornton Mellon style.
Back to school.
Back to school to prove to Dad I'm not a fool. So shout out to Abe Lincoln. There's your daily reminder.
Can't wait for school to start again.
Mom and Dad could hardly wait for school to start again. Now, before we get into other nonsense, let's do a quick rando news. Ready?
Yeah, what you got?
Jalen Hurts. The Eagles played the Washington football team yesterday. Eagles win. Jalen Hurts is going through the tunnel. Bunch of Eagles fans are there. Jalen! Yeah!
Go Eagles!
Yeah!
Fly, Eagles, fly!
They're pushing all their weight over the barricade, the facade. Fucking barricade falls, completely falls. All the people fall into the tunnel, almost on top of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts does a little dip up, dip out, and what could have been a tragedy turns into a great photo opportunity for all these fans and Jalen Hurts.
And Jalen Hurts plays it off perfectly because this barricade, you're right, he could have very well had 4 grown men fall on top of him. It could have been an injury. It could have been a terrible scenario, but they fell.
One of these dudes didn't even break a thumb, as far as I know.
They all pop up. Jalen Hurts reacts perfectly, takes pictures with him, and he's like, yeah, smiling. Fist bump, goes back to the locker room. Like, to me,
yeah. I think he saved the Washington football team of a major lawsuit because these guys left that scenario happy because they all got pictures with Jalen Hurts.
If it goes differently, you're right. That barricade and, ooh.
They took a nasty spill, man. And I'm sure you guys saw it because aside from all the great football you saw yesterday, the 2 biggest stories were Antonio Brown, and these fans falling out of the stands.
Oh, total lawsuit if they're not happy. But now
NW says there is a lawsuit.
There's a lawsuit.
I haven't heard that.
I think that there's going to be zero.
Definitely a potential lawsuit for sure.
But you know what? The outcome in the video will prove that
they were okay.
Like the idea of like when they're smiling, toasting their beers, and hanging with Jalen Hurts, sort of goes against them a little bit.
But definite viral clip. If you haven't seen it, look it up. We'd share it with you, but Spot is in pain, and we don't have video access to do that right now. But you have YouTube, so check it out later.
Yeah.
Bengals over the Chiefs. Joe Burrow is the fucking guy.
Yeah.
He has...
And it happened quick.
Second of all time in a 2-week span. 971 yards in the last 2 games. And again, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Beat the Chiefs. Big game for him yesterday. And I'd look out for them moving forward. He's the guy. He's the fucking... the quarterback of the future.
Yeah, put him up there with Mahomes and Josh Allen and all these young guys that everyone raves about. Because everyone loves to talk about Mahomes and Josh Allen. Herbert, everyone talks about Herbert's arm.
He's got the big dick energy for sure.
Yo, and you know what? I said this yesterday on Fox, and the reality is, him and Jamar Chase, they've had a connection since LSU, and people underestimate that because people, I don't know what it is, they just downplay chemistry. They think, oh, you know, just this great quarterback and this great receiver. They've been playing together, so while they're only on year 2 in the NFL together, or year 1 for Jamar Chase, they got a fucking resume together. So
as you heard over and over, like, get used to this tandem, get used to this combo. Burrow to Chase, like, get used to hearing that for the next 10 years.
As Jason Brown said, Burrow has his number 1 receiver from the year he won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
I mean,
they've got a connection, like Rich said.
You look at these college photos, and you're like, oh, well, cool. Like when, I don't know, Tua, whoever would, Jalen Hurts or whoever would throw to Devontae Smith was catching passes from Tua, right? In college? Alabama, is that right? You forget because they move on to the NFL and you're like, oh yeah, now they got new teammates. But if you're trying to tell me on a defense, if 2 guys are lined up next to each other that also played for, I don't know, Ohio State together, or 2 guys that were winning championship caliber games together, their chemistry is off the charts.
They've already broken some sort of like college to NFL records.
Yeah.
As a tandem. I forget what it was exactly, but I mean, what you're seeing is pretty remarkable. The only guy who's ever thrown for more yards in a 2-game span is actually Dak Prescott by like, a few yards. But he's had a hell of a 2 weeks, stepping up when he needs to. And you forget he was hurt most of the last year. So props to this guy. He's fun to watch. He's definitely fun to watch.
You know, it's a crazy thought, and Mercer brings it up. What's up, Mercer? You don't get enough love since you're like our original Covino and Rich pal.
What's up, buddy?
When you watched the 49ers game yesterday.
Mercer should grow an Abe Lincoln beard. Oh, shouldn't he?
No mustache.
Yeah, he'd be more credible.
Mercer brings up a good point. Because you saw it with the 49ers and Trey Lance yesterday. Yeah, they won. It wasn't the most impressive win. The score made it seem like it was more of a blowout. The 49ers were losing at halftime. I think they outscored them 20-0 in the second half or something. Houston stinks. The idea of every quarterback, and this goes for basketball too, who's running the point, right? They're going to distribute the ball and operate differently. Like, yeah, George Kittle made one ridiculous catch, like circus style, like one hand taps it back to himself. And
yeah, it was dope.
I mean, he's the beast. But you could tell that his chemistry with Jimmy Garoppolo is on point. Mm-hmm. If Garoppolo's got one thing going for him,
more snaps too. More snaps helps the chemistry.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you could tell that everyone's going to have their go-to. Like, it looks like for Trey Lance, from what you've seen so far, like Brandon Ayuk is his, like,
his instinct is also to, hold on to the ball.
Yeah. But then you hear, they said during that game, if you were listening to the commentators, when Trey Lance was getting all the backup snaps, like Brandon Ayuk's the guy that would stay a little later and be like, yeah, I'll do a couple more routes with you. So then Trey Lance gets in the game.
Build the trust.
You have a trust. So it is funny to see how certain guys automatically just have a chemistry with different quarterbacks. Like you'll see it all the time.
So that happened. Joe Burrow, ice in his veins. I saw somebody say that. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan over the weekend, 2 back-to-back buzzer beaters.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
The Bulls are in first place now, but yeah, like he did it again. Like that was pretty dope.
It's pretty wild.
I saw that. Thanks for the reminder there.
Cove, they flexed those games that we were trying to figure out last night.
Oh, okay. So the Sunday night game?
Yeah, well, because we were trying to decide who is, because the NFL, did you notice how they kept doing that? Like, yo, doubleheader Saturday, Sunday, to a full weekend of NFL football. And, you know, the people that know what they're talking about, like the Ralph Irvins and all our Fox buddies, like, yo, they're not going to put anything of importance on Saturday because it's a weird competitive advantage, disadvantage. Like teams that are still like in weird scenarios.
Yeah. Like our Monday night game. Like who cares about that?
Yeah.
The Browns Steelers. I mean, you want Big Ben to go out on top, but otherwise. Like,
but going into the final week, Covino, like you're like, well, what game is going to be Saturday? They weren't going to play a Saturday game that had playoff implications because like, let's say the Saints and Falcons played on Saturday. If the Falcons beat them, then the 49ers clinch the wild card. So then all of a sudden you're taking away the significance of Rams-Niners.
Right.
You want these games unfolding at the same time. The same way in baseball, how on the last day of the year, every team plays at the same exact time. Mm-hmm. There'll be scoreboard watching. They'll be fun. The 2 Saturday games, which are of zero significance, you could say, well, playoff seeding, but that's not significant in the big picture. Broncos-Chiefs and Cowboys-Eagles. Cowboys-Eagles lack significance now because both teams have clinched a spot in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Chiefs, Broncos, also no significance. So you got 2 football games on Saturday, so it's something to watch. But again, they've lost significance.
The whole schedule is one big puzzle right now. So definitely interesting. And speaking of Cardinals, Cowboys, big win for the Cardinals. And they were minus Connor. So that's kind of interesting. Are the Cowboys not as good as we thought? Or are the Cardinals better than we thought? And they were slumping.
It's the ups and downs of the season.
Exactly.
You know,
Brady's last drive sort of loses steam. Like Brady was being Brady. He was the guy again. You thought they were going to lose to the Jets. He comes back with a sweet drive because he's like, yeah, I'm fucking Tom Brady. Relax. We got a minute and a half. But overshadowed by Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Talked about that. Tonight, Browns at Steelers for your Monday Night Football.
Big Ben
Just root
farewell.
for Big Ben to have a sweet farewell. And we move on to the rest of the stories. We talked about Patton Oswalt apologizing. Thanks, Nick Sparlin. Patton Oswalt apologizes for his working relationship with fellow comedian Dave Chappelle. Took a picture. God forbid.
There's
the other story, Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, I want to get to that, but I want to just give you one more quickie before you done with news. Do you believe that when people die in a dumb way, you never want to see someone die, but there's like that, what do they call it? Like, well, that's just, what's the phrase people use when someone dies doing something dumb? Natural selection?
It's a great song, too. I'd do anything for your loving, baby. Yes, I will. You remember that song?
Of course. 28-year-old guy.
I think it's Natural Selection.
Jumps over a turnstile in Queens and hits his legs jumping over the turnstile, falls, hits his head, and dies. It's a terrible story. You feel bad for the guy, but it's like, this guy lost his life because he tried to save $2 on a Subway swipe. Jumps the turnstile, doesn't clear it, gets his foot caught up, falls forward, cracks his head. The Darwin Award. Yeah, that's what it is. The natural selection, but yeah, Darwin is the thing people like to do. Yeah, this guy won a Darwin Award. Sounds terrible, but they discovered the man there who's not identified, but he was in Forest Hills, Queens, jumped over the turnstile. Surveillance footage shows him jump over the turnstile, trip, and fall right on his head and died. It's like, really, what a way to go, huh?
See what I'm saying? I ain't playing, girl. Make me a natural selection. Anyone remember that song? See what I'm saying? I ain't playing. Stop delaying, girl, and make me a natural selection. That's it. Do anything for your loving, baby. Natural selection. Yes, I will.
Yes, I will.
Terrible story. Dana White and Jake Paul have drama.
Yeah.
They have beef going on.
And I do want to end with the impractical jokers because it's a bigger conversation, but there was one other thing that they're saying with the Omicron variant,
Okay.
that
Okay.
we just may need to live. We may need to live forever, just coexisting with COVID to the point where,
Oasis style?
yeah, we might need to just permanently coexist. Like no time in the near future. Like for this to go away, like a measles. Like the reason why measles only pops up every like couple years, like this little outbreak, is because what would you say, like 90-something% of the population is vaccinated. So if we're gonna be stuck at this number of like 70% of people vaccinated, we're never truly gonna. It'll never be eradicated. So just they've already lowered the quarantine to 5 days. We're just probably going to live in a world where seasonally it goes away, seasonally comes back, seasonally goes away, and you hope it gets lesser and lesser. But they're saying like the idea of like COVID going away, not going to happen because we're never going to get to the eradication of it because not enough people are vaccinated. So it just will be a part of our lives. And I was talking to my buddy who has kids around my kids' age. I was like, isn't it wild to think that they're going to grow up with something that they're going to think has always been a thing?
I mean, it's kind of sad just seeing how these kids operate now.
But I'm saying like,
You know, they get tested every week at school. They got to wear fucking masks. Like the whole thing sucks.
that'll eventually fade.
I don't know.
That'll fade to something lesser. But just the idea that like, yo, Ben, before you were born, kiddo, there was no such thing. The average person never even heard the word COVID before.
COVID bad.
Yeah, we're gonna live with it.
Cookies good.
We're gonna live with it like the flu. And
Yo, bro, I walked into your house today, and Ben was in the high chair with fucking oatmeal all over his face, all over his hands.
yeah.
And I'm like, I did say to myself, I don't know if I'm ready for that again. I don't know.
that's why I don't say it negatively because
He
I
was
just
like,
know that you are
oatmeal good.
you're 12 years removed from having a little kid. So I just wonder if you and Jordan did have a family one day, are you ready? And you can't stop that.
She'll have more energy than I do.
But I'm saying
you
you
know?
can't stop that.
Jordan, handle the oatmeal thing.
When a kid has mashed potatoes or oatmeal or something everywhere, that's not something you could stop.
Ben's sticking his dick into mashed potatoes.
You know?
Mashed potatoes, yummy. Anyway,
Fucking little
the
beast.
mess I walked into was crazy. The Omicron variant is tearing this world apart. P10, what's up? Omicron actually acknowledged it over the weekend and
saw
said,
that.
you know,
I'm not a variant.
he's not a variant. He's
Fucking
Omicron.
Beat it. Scramble
So,
Emma Ding Dong.
Get
out of here.
What I was saying about Dana White is he has called out Jake Paul. Dana White, president, CEO, I don't know his title, of the UFC, is calling out Jake Paul because Jake Paul has been saying that he's a cokehead. Dana White says, listen, I'll take a drug test for the next 10 years of my life if you take a steroid test for the next 2 years. Because you're a cheater, you're calling out people smaller than you, you're not good for the sport, and you're on the juice. So take my challenge. And Jake Paul is saying, yo, I'm fighting for your fighters that you're not paying enough. So
Yeah.
I'll retire from boxing when you start paying them right.
And Dana White said, well, then fucking start your own federation then. Go for it. Go for it, big guy.
He's calling out Dana White. He's saying the minimum is $12,000 a fight. He says, I want the minimum to be $50,000. He's like calling the shots. I want the minimum to be $50,000. I want you to do this. I want you to book me for a fight. And I'm an advocate for the UFC. And if you do these things, yeah, I'll step off and I'll retire from boxing.
Who the fuck does Jake Paul think he is?
I don't know. And Dana White's saying, yeah, you know why you're calling out all my fighters? Because they sell pay-per-views. Nate Diaz, Masvidal, McConnor.
That's why you want these guys. Yeah, that's why you want these guys, Jake Paul.
Because you can't sell pay-per-views. Yeah, there's interest there, but you're not the guy. Slow the fuck down and fuck yourself. So they've been beefing back and forth.
It's a nice little fight, I think.
Yeah, it's a nice little fight. So there's Dana White and Jake Paul drama with no conclusion at the moment. But you know who I saw the greatest feedback from? Moving on. Chris Weidman, former heavyweight champ, right? Was he heavyweight? Either way, Long Island's own Chris Weidman, New York's own Chris Weidman says, you know, I see Jake Paul calling out a lot of people, but no one that could box and no one like his size. You know?
Well, that's been the story all along.
Why doesn't he call out Anderson Silva? Anderson Silva's his size, and he's been pretty successful boxing. He beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a former champ. If you're going to call someone out, call out Silva. Make that shit happen.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. I'm
Jake-
like, yeah, fucking do that.
Jake Paul's only doing what we and society are allowing him to do. We're responsible for Jake Paul. He didn't come out of nowhere. People watch him and support him. You've watched a fight of his. I've watched a fight of his. We're stupidly supporting his stupidity.
Do you want to know what Jake Paul demands from the UFC, or you want to move on? Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right, but anyway,
I don't
there's
really-
beef, and it's back and forth.
I think it's funny how he's demanding anything.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, he's
what do
remember,
they fucking owe him?
he's the MVP. You know what the MVP is?
No.
Most valuable boxer. And according to him, he wears a belt and everything. So that's that drama. Just filling you in. Now, the Impractical Jokers. We touched on this last night on Fox Sports Radio, but we tied it into sports.
Yeah, let's have a real conversation.
Let's have a real conversation about it. The Impractical Jokers, everyone loves them. Everyone thinks they could do that, but they can't because these dudes are the best at it. They're really fucking funny. Let's give credit where it's due. They're stupid, but they're having a blast, and that's why it's contagious. I'm sure you have fun with your friends, but you can't do it and make it as good as they do.
To replicate
They're good.
Their everything
They're really
is
good.
impossible. Now, Murr, Joe, Sal.
We forgot Sal the other day.
Who else did we forget? Murr, Joe, Sal, and
Oh, Beardy with the Goopaline.
Beardy with the Goopaline.
Beardy with the Goopaline.
Hold on. We're gonna use. You're gonna use your head.
Oh, I can't think of his name.
All right.
Sal, Joe.
You ready? Here we go.
The other guy. Spot.
Oh,
What is it?
it's a letter. Q.
Ah, dang it.
Q.
I mean, how many Q's do you know? So anyway,
Murr, Sal, Joe, and Q.
the Impractical Jokers. They've been buds forever. They were like in a comedy troupe, like a theater group or some shit.
But they're
they were
old
all
school
friends.
pals.
They're old school pals. And they struck gold on Comedy Central.
It's
And
the
they
truth.
did a prank show. And they've been doing it for a long time. They've gone on tour and they've had major success.
They are stupidly successful. They have chemistry. They're
Funny guys.
hilarious.
And
I
they've
agree with
always been like, there's something about them. What makes them, I think, popular is that they're relatable. And we know from firsthand experience, when you're hanging with them, they're just regular guys that are really funny.
Yeah, they're really
You know?
just they're good guys. They're roughly 40ish. They're around our age.
I think they're exactly my age.
Yeah, they're in their early 40s.
But
They
you remember, they're like, you're our age? You look like a cherub. Remember he said that?
that is right.
You look like a...
These guys are 40ish, lifelong friends. Been goofing around since they're young, and you know what? They do a really easy watch of a TV show. They are.
Oh, True TV.
What did you
I
say?
say Comedy Central?
Oh yeah, True TV. Yeah, I didn't know.
Thank you, Cubs fan.
They've been like a staple of True TV. Like you said, they're on. I don't know if I've ever been on a flight where they don't have Impractical Joker episodes on standby. I don't know if I've ever been anywhere where they're not airing it somewhere. It's a legendary show.
And
They're
it's
so good.
it's not appointment watching, as you pointed out on Fox Sports Radio. And it's something you could put on, when there's nothing to watch, and the whole family could sort of like
Yeah, I don't know one person.
enjoy it, kind of.
I don't know one person that's like, man, I hate that show. It's probably the most.
My mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. These guys are stupid.
Well,
They're putting balloons on people at the supermarket, and then to make fun of that old man, the superhuman athlete, that's terrible. That
well,
shit was funny.
they're probably. I bet you if they did the research, they're probably one of the more generally liked group of people in media. Right?
Again, you can't expect everybody to love them, but
So
for the most part.
for the most part, they're pretty loved.
So are we diving into it? We
Yeah.
know the Impractical Jokers. They've been on our show.
Oh,
They're
very
nice
funny.
guys.
Great
Okay.
guys.
So the story over the weekend goes that Joe Gatto, who, think about it, Joe, in my opinion, is like the ringleader, the funniest of them all. He has a memorable face. He's got the schnozzle. There's something like funny about him that makes him the main guy to me. I don't know how you feel about it, but to me. He also lost a lot of weight, in the progression of the show. I don't know if that's worthy of speculation here, but he looks, better than he ever has. The story goes he's getting a divorce. And because of his divorce, he wants to spend more time as a co-parent and as a father. But because he's going to spend more time as a parent, he now says, well, then I can't be an Impractical Joker. I'm leaving the troupe. Which says to me he's really well off. Because most people that get a divorce have to work a lot more.
Yeah.
and really get on their hustle. But he's saying he's leaving the Impractical Jokers because of this. Or, just speculation, he realizes he's the JT of the crew and he knows he could do well on his own now.
I mean,
I don't know.
the show's been on they celebrated their 10-year anniversary. The first episode aired in December of 2011. So this is over 10 years ago. Over 250 episodes. So
Because-
they're getting syndication. They're the money,
Here's the thing.
they aired the shit out of this on True TV and
it's always
other
on.
networks. I'm sure have
they,
deals.
they milk these dudes. They play them constantly. It's like a Impractical Jokers marathon all the time. So, if they're really buddies, and they are, how could you not speculate that if their buddy Joe is going through a life sort of situation, why can't he dip out and not be as prominent of a role and just be there when he can? Because he is going through a lot and he does have to be a dad and he is going through a divorce. Why does he have to leave the crew?
Well, let me read the
Why does he have
statement.
to leave the crew?
Let me read his statement because
He says he loves his buds, but he has to fucking move on.
Sorry in advance for the long and more serious than usual note. I just want to let you know that I will no longer be involved with Impractical Jokers. Alongside my friends, I've devoted a decade of my life to building this franchise and couldn't be prouder of what we've accomplished. However, due to some issues in my personal life, I have to step away. Gatto then noted that he and his wife, Bessie Gatto, decided to amicably part ways following their 2013 marriage. So now I need to focus on being the best father and co-parent to our two incredible kids. Continuing his candid message, Gatto then mentioned the other members, James Murray, Brian Q. Quinn, and Sal Volcano. Outside of my family, my relationships with Murr, Q, and Sal have been the most important in my life. I know they will continue to make the world laugh. Gatto also singled out, quote, the hard work of the talented crew members that work behind the scenes. I'm thankful to have worked with them. Concluding his post, Gatto thanked the fans. As I work through the challenges I'm facing, I hope to, and I'm excited to create new ways to entertain you. So is he going solo?
That's what I'm saying. Read between the lines, okay? When a band breaks up, they break up. These guys were friends. So did he really need to break up with his friends? They really were friends. These guys have been friends for years. That's what makes them who they are. So I think he sort of wants to just go solo and do his thing. I always thought he was the main guy anyway.
I'm
think
so
about it.
I'm so curious.
And I'll say it again.
What the story is.
Anyone else going through divorce, that's when you really got to fucking work your hardest, to be honest.
But
That's
not only
when
that,
you say, I'm quitting.
But not only that, I could, from a mile away, sniff this out as something's happened.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little more.
I mean,
he loves his buds.
I'm not
but-
trying. I don't need to investigate. It's fucking his business. But if we're just going to speculate on our fucking podcast,
It's kinda
my
sad,
thought is
though.
that if he's leaving this right now, him and his wife broke up while they said amicable. It's probably some weird shit went down or something, right? And
But it doesn't change their history.
or maybe she has something on him and she's like, well, fucking leave that show. Or there's something, right? Or for all you know, maybe one of the guys took the side of his ex-wife in the battle and he's like, well, fucking you're with, then I'm out. But we'll make a nice statement saying I'm leaving. Like,
Amanda's saying,
know.
I think it's about the custody for his kids. Maybe. I can't even imagine how that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
But
maybe. How does it not? Maybe there's two factors. Maybe his time commitments, he wants a higher percentage of custody, and the only way he'd do that, his ex-wife's probably like, well, he's out on the road with the Impractical
Never around,
Jokers.
Yeah. But
And
does he have to quit? Like
maybe, I mean, I know it's entertaining, but maybe he's like, well, I'm on the road a lot, and I'm doing these stupid pranks, and according to the law, like, it's a bad look.
Maybe. It sucks though. They were great, and you have to factor in like he's leaving a really successful run. Sucks. You know what's odd about this too? You know who benefits from his success? Who benefits from his success?
His ex-wife?
His ex-wife.
Yeah.
Isn't it it baffles me how counterproductive it is for the significant other, whoever it is that's winning the bread, to ever break the balls or interfere with someone when they're fucking bringing home the bacon.
Oh, yeah.
She should be his biggest fucking supporter. No. Hey, what are you doing? No. Continue. Carry on. Make your money. I get half of that shit. Wait, what? No. Continue working. As a co-parent, I don't believe my balls should ever be broken when I have some work to do. Because guess what?
That's part of this money is yours.
Everybody benefits.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a little confusing for me. It's a
Yeah,
little.
I mean, Lisa, I was going to say it, but it sounds terrible. Maybe fucking one of the guys and his wife, ex-wife, like, who knows if there's some suspect shit? Who knows?
Over speculation here.
Spouses ruin everything. That's from Preston. There's something
But
going on.
There's a long history there. There's a
Again,
long history there. So there's no reason for him to leave, in my opinion, unless you sit like you're right. There's a custody sort of scenario, but it's a story. We're just discussing it. We're not trying to be gossipy about it. Just doesn't all add up.
It's a bunch of grown men that do a really hilarious prank show. It's not. You're right. It's not for us to speculate. It's his business. However, when they've been a part of television and little clips you see, and they're always together, the four of them, it does make you wonder: is there something more? None of our business, but it's just a weird to walk away from success. Now, Dave Chappelle talks about that when he walked away from the Comedy Central contract. I get it. There's a thing about betting on yourself, and like you're always going to be Gary.
Steve saying with all these other platforms, TikTok and
YouTube,
he could do it basically on his own at this point. So why not?
Maybe he legit wants to spend more time with his kids, and he's like, "Yo, for all we know, Joe Gatto's a guy.
There's nothing wrong with that, but he could have done both.
Yeah, but he's a guy
his
from
buddies would have
he's
been
an
like,
East
okay.
Coast guy, right?
Yeah.
What if he's like, yo, listen, over the last 10 years from Practical Jokers, let's just say he's like, I made $10 million. What if he's like, I got $10 million saved and invested? $10 million is more. Someone making six figures won't make that the rest of their life. This show set me up. I own my house. I have millions of dollars in the bank. I live a pretty modest life. I'm an East Coast guy that lives in Brooklyn or whatever. Maybe he's saying, I really don't fucking need it. Like, we're assuming everyone needs to live opulent style. Maybe he's like, yo, I got enough. I got millions of dollars.
I'm just really sad.
And what if he says to himself,
Frank Fritz and Mike Wolf broke up from American Pickers.
Dude, what if
and
his
now the Impractical
residuals,
Jokers?
Covino, what if his residuals from just the reruns of this, he gets like $500,000 a year for all you know? Like, what if he's like, yo, I make enough off of the reruns.
I get all that, right? But let's just say, okay, then let's say that's true, and it probably is, right? Can't he just say, hey, guys, I don't want to say farewell. We're still buds. But I can't do this the way I used to anymore because I have my own life to live. Yeah. So how about I just like, you guys do, you want to continue doing it, and then now, can I be on a few episodes?
Yeah, what if
they're friends, couldn't they have still just done it once in a while and not rely on him all the time? The world might not even notice.
I agree, like a reduced schedule.
Yeah.
Like, what if they're like, yeah, like, and they didn't even need to really announce it. Like, yo, Joe's taking some time, and like, he shows up every fifth episode.
That's what I'm saying. Everything you're saying is possibly true.
Yeah.
But then couldn't he still, as a friend, just hop in one episode out of every 10 they did? First it was Mike and Frank on American Pickers. Now the Impractical Jokers. This whole world's falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be more to it, but maybe, Covino, the simple answer is he has a lot of money, and he's making money off of the reruns and the rights to these shows, the 250 episodes he's already done. Like, I think about that with, like, let's say you're on Big Bang Theory or How I Met Your Mother, or one of these shows that still gets aired a million times on, like, TBS or something.
That's what happens when you pay people too much. Happens in sports too. That's why Kyrie's like, nah, I'm good.
Not everyone needs the fame and fortune. There's more to life. And maybe he's like, yo, I'm telling you right now, what if he really said, you don't know how much you got paid? And if you look at his net worth, it's never going to be accurate, so there's no point. And
you can't downplay their popularity either. They were selling out Radio City Music Hall.
So let's say all of them.
Multiple nights.
Let's say, I'm just picking a number. Let's say Joe Gatto made $2 million a year. That could be way more or way less than he really made. But let's just say $2 million. He did it for 10 years. Early on, probably didn't get a lot, but towards the end, probably made a lot.
Half now.
So right. So let's say in that mix, he made tens of millions of dollars and has $5 to $10 million invested or in the bank. He might really say, "Yeah, I don't need it." Why is that an impossibility? I'm fat. I can't fathom.
He's my age. He's done doing what he does.
Yeah, but I can't fathom why a guy like Ryan Seacrest. I think I could fathom why, because he has no kids or anything like that. But Ryan Seacrest, He could never work again a day in his life. Probably has hundreds of millions of days. Seacrest was making what, $40 to $50 million a year for a handful of years?
Who's going to introduce Journey?
I know, but like they don't really need to work. They don't need to work, right?
True TV must pay well. We should fucking look into this. Hey, Sean, Super Agent Sean Wyman. Get us on. Maybe Spot's auditioning as we speak. They already have Q.
The last season they did was kind of unsettling because they had to work around COVID. It stunk. Tough show. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's like, yeah, it's time. Maybe he's indicate it's time. But I like the bigger question, Covino.
Here's what money solves a lot of problems, right?
Yeah.
Because think of this. In any other scenario in the world, when your money's getting split in half, you don't quit the gig that you have. You don't. Ever. In everyday life, when you have to split your income, you need time to split new cheeks, but you also have to fucking get on your grind again, and you're not quitting the job you have. That's what makes this interesting.
That's for people that aren't rich.
So this guy, he must have fucking so much money where that's not the issue. And that's, hey, great on him. But either way, hey,
But answer the question.
It's not bitterness, P10. It's a fact.
Answer the question that you, that I know you want to pose, which is when you think about music, TV, sports, anything in life, when there's a group of people, and I don't want it to be like this guy was the lead singer and left the band, because that happens in boy bands. Like, yo, Beyonce left Destiny's Child and fucking she became the Queen Bee and the rest of the girls did nothing. TV shows, life, relationships, groups of buddies. Like, I want to hear the stories. Did you have like a group of 4 buddies that you were like inseparable? And then one of your guys was like, yeah, guys, I'm married now, and my wife doesn't like me hanging with you. Like, I can't hang anymore. Bye. Like, these things happen in real life. This is just amplified because they're a group of 4 buddies that became famous for being 4 buddies.
Real buddies, not like TV buddies.
How many times is there a group of people?
And that's rare. That's what makes it rare.
How many times is there a group of people where someone leaves and they do have to scramble to figure out who the next person is?
We mentioned Journey, right? They found their Filipino guy who's fantastic. He really is great. Last night on Fox Sports Radio, I mentioned, Van Halen continued without David Lee Roth and had more commercial success, but they replaced him. So these guys, they can't really replace the guy, are they? Are they bringing in their other pal who always wished he was a part of it? It's possible.
Hey, here's Al.
Al, and we've always been friends with Al. He just wasn't part of our, show. But Al, we've known him our whole life. And then Al comes in and slays it. I don't know. Van Halen went on and had major commercial success with Van Hagar, Sammy Hagar, then Gary Sharon, but I was never a Sammy Hagar guy. Bon Scott, AC/DC, right? They found a new lead singer, moved on. Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio. There's a lot of people where the core guy left and they moved on and still found success. But the examples are few and far between.
I wrote down a handful of times where people have left the ensemble and did their own thing, or they're like, I'm done. And I want you to tell me if you think they were better off afterwards.
I would say most of the time, probably not.
All right, 2.5 Men. Charlie Sheen's like, I'm done. I'm out. He get, the whole deal. The show goes on without him.
No way.
Roseanne, show goes on without her. It's the Connors.
Even my dad, who got on that show late. Yeah, man, this one with Ashton Kutcher sucks. Even my dad was like, fucking garbage.
What about when it was the different, I guess you would say, versions of, so it was Regis and Kathy Lee. Then it was Regis and Kelly. Then it was Kelly and Michael. Then it was Kelly and Ryan. Like, sometimes they just keep the fucking ship going. How many times have they recycled those Yentes on The View?
It becomes a franchise at that point, though. Like, is the Impractical Jokers like Menudo, where they just bring in a new guy every time someone leaves? Ricky Martin, you're too old now. Let's bring in some other fucking guy.
I mean, what about American Idol, when all of a sudden they're like, all right, Simon Cowell's leaving, so it's going to be Steven Tyler in that seat. Like, it's
again never the same, but it's more about
it moves on.
People the franchise as it is about the person. at that point.
Look at someone brought up Opie and Anthony. When Opie and Anthony separated, it was like Anthony. Wait a minute. Remind me what happened. Anthony got fired, right? And then Opie did the morning show by himself.
Yeah.
And then he ended up doing the.
I only remember because we then worked with Opie for a longer time. We would see Opie and Jim, and it was all different variants of that show.
It was Opie and Anthony, and Jim Norton and Sam were part of that show, right?
Yeah.
Anthony got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was Opie.
I don't remember why. Do you remember why?
Yeah, like
gun related or something stupid?
No. Like, remember, like in the streets in New York, like fought with some black woman or something? Wasn't that?
Oh yeah. She was taking pictures or something with cameras.
Something, right?
Yeah.
So Anthony leaves.
Yeah.
So then wasn't it Opie, Sam, and Jim?
Mm-hmm.
And then Opie did the afternoon thing, and Jim and Sam did the morning thing.
It was never the same.
It was never the same.
Never the same.
And then Sam Roberts did his own like nighttime show. Yeah, there was like, shows go their own way.
Here, think of it this way.
The morning mashup minus me.
When you're that's a great example. It's just not a mainstream example. But
4 people.
But the morning mashup was
Jokers.
Rich was arguably the lead of the show. Arguably on their side, he was the lead of the show. Morning mashup on Sirius XM hits 1. He leaves to focus on Covino and Rich and other things.
They keep going,
but it's not the same. No way.
It's not the same.
I mean, but they've had a successful run, but not the same.
Mike and the Mad Dog.
They're a great example of they both carried on.
They both carried on, prospered, but not as good as when they were together.
It's not the magic that the people want.
Mike and the Mad Dog was the magic.
You know why though?
Mike
it's not that they're
Francesa,
not better.
He had ratings, and
it's
Mad
also,
Dog got millions of dollars from Sirius.
It's also in our mind, right? It's like maybe like I'm not a fucking Kiss historian. I'm not a Kisstorian, so please forgive me. But like Peter Criss leaves the band, right? They just replace him with some other dude with fucking makeup on, right? But to the public, not the same. So if they were going back on tour, they really what the public really wants is the original guys. You know? Yeah. Even though they might be better with the fucking better drummer. It's never, even if it's better, in our minds, it's never the same as the original crew. It's very rare that it's better and perceived as better. So the Impractical Jokers may move on like the Morning Mashup did. They may have success.
People move on.
But it'll never be the same in our mind without the original members. It's just how it is.
I mean, people come and go, producers, sidekicks, stuff like that all the time. But when a main person leaves, right? It's just never the same. Michael Scott leaving The Office. I mean, they couldn't even save that with Will Ferrell and Ed Helms and those guys. Like
you made this reference yesterday when Damian Lewis left Homeland.
I was just like,
yeah, it was fucking over.
Sure, it's still good, but
that was such a great show.
Yeah,
it was over. That was it. That was it for me.
I don't think any combination. I don't think you or Spot or me and Spot would ever work without the other one of you and me.
No, I think we'd all have success, but it won't be the same.
Yeah. Oh, but like you and I, yes. You and I not together? Nah, that just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
So yeah, Joe Gatto leaves the Impractical Jokers. It just sparks conversation and thought about the main guy or one of the core four.
Yeah. What about
or just friendships in general?
What about our old,
the guy left and now what?
What about our old stomping grounds, ESPN?
What about it?
Mike and Mike. Like Greenberg's doing his thing. And Golick was out. Greenberg's doing the Greenberg show. I don't even know what it's called. But you're trying to tell me Mike and Mike wasn't there. That was their bread and butter. That was a legendary show.
I would say it was the number one show for a long time.
Does anyone care about Mike Greenberg's solo 2-hour radio show?
Now, side note,
compared to
the producer,
Mike and Mike?
The producer of that show when they were at their height is our boss at Fox Sports.
Yeah, because that show at its height was Mike and Mike was one of the biggest shows in sports radio.
Mm-hmm.
But does anyone care about Mike Greenberg's
Greeny?
Does anyone care about Greeny's solo show?
I mean, somebody cares. It's just not as good.
Yeah.
I think the best example of success, honestly, that we talked about, I mean, there was a lot of them. Van Halen went on. You know, all these bands that we speak of went on. Was it as good? I don't know. The public, I don't think, says yes. But I think Mike and the Mad Dog,
Yeah.
they had some pretty good success separately.
Yeah, I mean, Gus Francesa kept top ratings in New York, and
For a long time.
And Mad Dog got a huge contract at SiriusXM. So they both went their own ways and made money and success. But
Yeah.
I still think they were
And
better.
I think Mad Dog did some, still did some great radio.
I think they
And
were
he
better.
went on TV.
Yeah, MLB Network and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Together was probably still their, quote, height, right?
Yeah.
Mike and Mike hated each other off the air. Do you know that for a fact, Ellis, Matt Ellis? Because I don't know that, and I worked with them.
I don't know. We can find out, though.
Oh, I got
We can
a
send
good
a text right now and find out.
I got a good one that maybe most people wouldn't really know because unless they lived on the East Coast, but it was a big move at the time. But looking back, they both were fine afterwards in New York radio.
Oh,
It used to be
and Elliot.
Elvis and Elliot, and the Z Morning Zoo. Elvis Duran went on his own. Elvis Duran in the Morning Zoo. Elvis Duran in the Z Morning Zoo, which is now what the Elvis Duran Morning Show.
Mm-hmm.
But Elliot Siegel went to D.C. to become like a rock morning guy and has had major success there. So those guys together, Elvis and Elliot, that was like a real good show people liked, but they went their own ways and were better off, believe it or not, without each other.
So that's the update.
Yeah.
And a few reminders before we call it a day. First, I want to say, if you're listening in the future and if you're listening now, sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. Some of it was operator error, but the chunk of it was just the internet going out. So we apologize for that. All you missed was a few close-ups of my sweet pompadour. No worries. So sorry for the technical difficulties. Spot's not here, and that's not why the internet went out, but we're just giving you the update. He's got a back issue. On Friday, we did a fun free Twitch Friday with what could be possibly the worst list that we ever read of top moments of 2021. Plus, we went over our own highlights of 2021, which started at SiriusXM and ended up here. Right? So we had a crazy year of ups, downs, and reach arounds. If you missed our free Twitch Friday show, catch it at twitch.tv/Covino and Rich, or just, go to our social media pages and find the link.
Well,
So we did a show on Friday. I thought it was a lot of fun. Catch that. We also were on Fox Sports Radio yesterday. So catch it at foxsportsradio.com. And please subscribe. And by the way, I thank you guys for leaving comments. I noticed that a lot of people were like, yo, these Covino and Rich guys, best things Fox Sports ever did was hire these guys.
oh yeah, if I were you guys,
Thank you guys. I appreciate that.
leave comments at Fox Sports Radio. That could do some good. That could do some good. All right. On that note, you want to say see you later? Arrivederci or what? Get out of here?
We can. Yeah. Thank you, Stu Hunt Wagner. Thank you, Cubs fan. Yeah, John Frusciante leaving the Chili Peppers. He was a main contributor. Dave Navarro, as great as he was not the answer. Who did everybody want? They wanted John Frusciante back. That's the original band. The OGs. Something about that. It's just like a weird... There's like a weird magic that people feel when it's the original guys.
Yeah, no, for
You
sure.
know what I mean? Even though they may be technically better. So anyway, thank you guys. Anything else you want to throw out there?
Yeah, let me see. I mean, there's a couple things we could get to tomorrow, but
Thanks to Intrinsic Sportswear. I was going to wear my hat, but my volume is too
amazing.
Too amazing today to, keep under a hat. Enjoy your Cobra Kais. Enjoy your Boba Fett's. I'm going to catch up on Dexter tonight.
I'll watch it. So good.
It's the premiere of Bachelor tonight. And a boring...
I think I want to watch because I'm back in. I think.
Do you know what happens this season?
I think I'm
Can
back
I tell
in.
you? It's not a secret.
No.
Okay.
I'm back in.
Again, I don't know the history. I'm not a Bachelor historian.
Sarah and I watched the preview and we're like, all right, we're back in. We feel interested again.
The storyline...
It seems dramatic and the guy seems like a funny, doofy guy.
He's a doofy guy who had no impact on The Bachelorette. He was a contestant on The Bachelorette.
But something about it seems like we were like, this guy seems like a doofus.
I don't know. They liked him.
Like
everyone was shocked that they picked him as The Bachelor. So he's just like some everyday guy, but he seems like a nice guy, right? What happens is, and they use this as part of the trailer, he falls in love with multiple women, which I get it. Whatever. That's possible. It happens.
That's not the first time.
But he admits to the girls that I have a confession, ladies. I slept with her, and then I slept with her. And as And they're like, ah! So the girls are freaking out because he's admitting to having familiar relations during the span of the show with multiple women.
I fucked you, and then I fucked you.
And they all turn on him like, gotcha!
How could he? He's
it's
the
most
Bachelor.
drama-filled season yet. So enjoy your Bachelor. Enjoy your, farewell to Big Ben Roethlisberger. You want to see him go out on a high note. The Browns are eliminated. Steelers are eliminated, but you want to see him go out on a high note.
Yeah.
Enjoy all your shows, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Kick-Ass.
Perfect.
Who, where, why? Kick-Ass. More Kick-Ass.
Covino
and Rich. Yeah.
All right, arrivederci, baby.
See you tomorrow. See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Do you know what to hit? End, right? No, you got to hit the intro. How do you do? What's the intro? Little smoke show. You just ruined it. You got to hit the smoke show. It says intro. Thank you, guys. You don't know what to hit, do you? Intro.